You know, they're selling you all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I back. Trust me, I back.
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing. Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you'll do nothing.
I'll tell you what, bro. You know, I was out there, I was fighting all the hitters, bro. You ain't fought no hitters.
Come on, guys. It's normal.
I'm not saying I would fight you. I would kill you.
John, do you think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really?
No, don't be scared, homie. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the fuck he wants.
I'm gonna beat you into the living death. I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, you know, people like that get slapped.
That's fucking illegal.
You just shook up the world. How's that feel?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is a simulated death match. And you haven't simulated anybody's death yet.
I said it last year. We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
What is the game plan going in against him?
The game plan is you go in there, hit him with some good shit, don't get hit, and come home with a pocket full of cash.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
I'm gonna go home tonight. I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. That's a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing.
Do you want to be a fighter? That is my question.
I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, Mixed Combat Radio family? Another live fight chat edition, but it's special. It's a dual live fight chat. We're going to watch the Kovalev Bivol doubleheader and the UFC 227 pay-per-view live at the same time. Talk about it with you guys, discuss it, give our media reactions. I'm joined today, as always, with live fight chats, it seems, with Mr. Santiago. Santiago, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just always irked by their choice of when to put the HBO and other fights on. But other than that, I'm excited to see both UFC 227 and the doubleheader on HBO.
Of course. And you know, especially since, you know, we were just watching Devin Alexander, Andre Berto. That's why we were a little bit late to this fight. You know, the Bivol Chilemba fight. It's about a minute and 50 seconds left in the second round. We're late to this fight card as expected because the Fox card did take extra long. Shout out to Fox for all of their fights going to decision and all of their fights kind of not being that great. Just being honest.
Dude, you know they were bad when they did a instant replay of what Sean Porter and Robert Guerrero were doing instead of what the fighters were doing.
Absolutely agree. I believe that. I mean, if you're going to put bad fights on, expect bad fights. Like, they weren't the greatest matchups. They weren't the greatest fights. But let's digress from that. Let's get all of that bad energy away from us because it is Bivol up right now. Dimitri Bivol, was he the WBO champ? No. Yeah, he's the WBO champion, isn't he?
I believe he's actually the WBA champion.
Is he WBA?
The WBO champion is Kovalev.
Is he Kovalev? All right. Well, Bivol, WBA champion against Isaac Chilemba. I believe, is this his first title defense or his second title defense?
Second. It's a second. The first one was against Sullivan Burr.
And this arguably may be a better opponent than Sullivan Burr. I know Sullivan Burr had a lot of fan appeal about him, but I just believe that Chilemba is probably just a tougher overall matchup for Bivol. He's a little more frustrating in the clinch. Burr needs his space. Same with Bivol. Bivol's a guy that likes to do a lot of his work from mid-range, from outside, behind the jab. It'll be interesting to see if Chilemba can sort of upset the patterns, the rhythm of Dimitri Bivol, and see what we can get here in terms of a fight. Santiago, what do you see so far in the matchup? About 10 seconds left in the second round.
Yes, and so far I've seen Chilemba be the boxer and try to fight on the outside as Bivol tries to measure his man and basically keep control of the mid-range, really, because I don't see either guy being someone who can really handle themselves on the inside. It's definitely a battle of the outside versus the mid-range, in my opinion.
True. Though I would say we've seen Chilemba fight more on the inside. Not that he's better at it, per se, but we've seen him have to fight more on the inside. Roy Jones in Chilemba's corner, trying to give him some words of advice. I wonder who's on the telecast then with Jim Lampley and Max Kellerman, if it's just them two.
I'd be surprised if it isn't. Chances are they probably brought in B-Hop You know how it is. If it ain't Roy, it's B-Hop.
Yeah, but it's not a Golden Boy card. Usually B-Hop's only aligned or there if it's a Golden Boy card. Maybe Andre Ward in his sort of last HBO telecast since he's moving to ESPN potentially.
That's a interesting swan song there. Then, if you ask me.
Being on a Kovalev fight card. That is funny. The irony of that.
Yes.
If it's, we obviously have no idea. We're not listening to the telecast right now, but it would be interesting. Thiago Santos over there fighting Kevin Holland in the UFC in the first fight on the pay-per-view card. About a minute left in their first round. Thiago Santos has looked the better of the two, but third round, Dimitri Bivol fighting Isaac Chilemba up now. We're probably going to be talking about that obviously more since it is the bigger fight of the two going on right now. Good jab there, or I should say a little more of a hook there from Dimitri Bivol. Definitely seems to be the faster, more athletic guy in there.
Yeah, and definitely you can see the technique that bellies his offense. He's got a pretty good pawing jab, but definitely he's not a guy that does well in close. And I guess really, if anything, Chilemba might want to be doing like a hit and get out strategy if he wants to take the fight. Because like you did say, he does have more of a history of fighting on the inside, but definitely doesn't want to stay in there too long either.
Agreed. I mean, Bivol should be obviously the heavier-handed opponent or boxer of the two, on paper at least. I believe his knockout ratio is pretty high compared to Chilemba, who's more of a spoiler. He's a guy that's going to give you rounds, give you tough work.
Yeah,
Never really been known as a power puncher.
Definitely. I mean, he went the distance with Kovalev before the Andre Ward fight, so he's definitely a tough guy. And a guy that's going to...
He went the distance with Eddie Alvarez as well.
Yeah, he did.
Who will be fighting Sergey Kovalev in the HBO main event. About a minute and a half left in this third round, halfway point in the round. Dimitri Bivol just in control. I mean, he's controlling the pace, the range of the fight. He's usually the first one to throw and land out of the two. Though the fight isn't really out of first gear yet, I would say. Both guys are still sort of measured, trying to find their rhythm in the fight. Good double left hook there by Dimitri Bivol on the inside. But neither guy really getting into rhythm and making it work so far.
They're getting their shots off when they can, not trying to take the initiative at this point. And it's only the third round, too. I could imagine one of them is going to pick up the gear starting from the fourth round forward. They have to. Otherwise, it's going to be a very lackluster fight. Good uppercut by Chilemba landed on the head of Bivol.
But to be fair, I mean, lackluster fights is what we've basically been seeing. The most exciting fight was the Luis Collazo Bryant Perella fight so far of the night. And that was even like a great fight.
Yeah, shout out to Luis Collazo keeping his career alive and showing that he's still the goods at 147.
Yes, we were going to do like an immediate reaction for that, but I mean, not just for that fight card, but obviously it's running late. And good combination there from Dimitri Bivol as both guys trade shots on the inside. Dimitri Bivol getting the better of the two, obviously, but easily. I mean, it's a good little swarm right there from Bivol. Good little combination flurry, I should say, between the two.
Yeah, definitely.
About 10 seconds, a little bit less than 10 seconds left in the round. Dimitri Bivol still in control and still landing the better shots. I mean, obviously the talking point has been Kovalev versus Bivol after these two respective fights.
Yeah, they've been talked about ever since Kovalev got the title back and ever since Bivol became a champion. They've been on a collision course for some time.
Agreed. I wonder if they're actually going to make it, though. I mean, not that it doesn't seem like a fight that needs marination. It's not like these guys are going to be fighting on pay-per-view or anything like that. But Bivol's still pretty young in his career overall. Like he could take a few more Chilembas before fighting on Kovalev, and I think people really wouldn't care as much. Maybe they might be mad at Kovalev, but I don't think people would be mad at Bivol at all.
Nah, and I think he's had a good count of himself thus far. Still has some things to work on, but thus far I like where he's going, and he's definitely looking to be the next face of the light heavyweight division.
And it's pretty open right now for that face ever since Andre Ward retired. I mean, obviously Better be Bivol are the two young guys in the division, but Badu Jack, Adonis Stevenson, they had a great fight. That was a draw. Kovalev is still around in some capacity, obviously.
Having regained the first title, he actually won, no less, too.
That's true. Even though, I mean, let's be honest, he got two very easy opponents. Even like Garbrandt, who has fought some guys, Garbrandt was style made for Kovalev.
Oh, yeah. Like, there was no way you could get around the fact that Garbrandt was tailor-made for Kovalev to basically just take advantage of. And we saw it too, 2 rounds, destruction.
And I would argue that that Elie Alvarez is probably still one of the best opponents on Kovalev's resume. Like, even though he fought like a John Pascal, who probably is more, not credential, but has a better career, better legacy than Alvarez. Pascal was past his prime in some way, shape, or form. Was obviously not undefeated. Elie Alvarez is undefeated, possibly in his prime boxer. That, to me, accounts for something.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, like you said, the division is open. You've got 4 different champions in there, and there are a lot of fights to be made at this point, too.
Good combination there from Chilemba on the inside. Landed 2 really good hooks. About a minute and 40 seconds left in the 4th round. Ladies and gentlemen, good lead left hook there from Chilemba.
He's doing well to control the distance thus far.
But one thing I've noticed with Bivol is that he's sort of like a Mikey or a Spence. Like, they're so measured and methodical that they could be outworked, that you feel like they're almost a little bit hittable as well. Maybe even basic, to put it harshly. Because there's not like this great defensive movement and elusiveness from Bivol. There's not that.
Definitely no. You see a lot of parrying, a lot of
blocking,
keeping the distance, relying on the reflexes more than anything. You don't see head movement. You don't see much to be like. It's a lot of subtlety that they do more than anything.
Yes, they hope to block and absorb the shot or parry the shot more so than duck under it, roll under it, evade it in sort of a more, I don't know, traditionally defensive sounded fashion.
Yeah.
Bivol definitely winning the jab battle thus far. 30 seconds left in the round. Good jab there from Bivol. Snapped the head back from Chilemba.
And follow that up with another jab to the body, too.
Another jab to the body. You've been doing that a lot, doubling it up, bringing it up top and down low with the jab. I like that.
Good feint with the jab to follow up with a hook to the body, but it's partially blocked.
I think Chilemba needs to start being a little more active here if he wants to start winning rounds.
I can easily sense that he's going to start giving away these rounds if he starts being a little tentative with his output.
He is. Like, this is like the Alvarez fight with Chilemba. Like, neither guy was really going for it. Both guys sort of stayed in first and second gear. And it was mainly, okay, who's ever winning the jab this round is going to be winning the round. And that's basically what's been happening so far. They're showing a, obviously, video of Kovalev getting his hands wrapped in the locker room. Interesting to see how Kovalev does against Elie Alvarez, a guy that's not necessarily received a lot of hype, but it's been talked about forever, it feels like, in this division.
Yeah, the next Canadian star, too, no less. He made some good fights in Canada.
Lucien Boutte, for one.
Lucien Boutte, and at one point, I think they were even talking about putting him up with Adonis Stevenson for an all-Canadian showdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, he fought John Pascal as well.
Mm-hmm. So he's been making his name known around Canada.
Wait, did he fight John Pascal? Did Elie Alvarez fight John Pascal?
I believe he did. Let me verify for that very, very quickly.
Thank you. I know Chilemba did, I believe. Oh, I'm getting the mix up now. 5th round has started. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. If you want to sync up with us, Harold Letterman, his scorecard is every single round to Dimitri Bivol right now, and I really can't argue with that too much.
It was Lucien Boutte and then John Pascal back-to-back.
Thank you. And Lucien Boutte, who moved up from 168 to 175, was knocked out in that fight, I believe.
Oh, viciously. Like, it was...
highlight reel.
Highlight reel material right there. And
that wasn't the fight he fought for steroids, right, Lucien Boutte?
No, I believe that was the Badou Jack fight.
I think you're right.
And that was overturned into a disqualification loss, too.
And that fight was actually at 168, huh?
That fight was, in fact, at 168. In a fight that everyone knew that freaking Badou Jack won.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the body work and everything was just too much. And at least they overturned it. But, you know, it's a shame what happened to Lucien Boutte.
It happens. Good jab there from Dimitri Bivol. His game is so predicated on that jab. You know, unlike a Spence, he's much more like a Mikey, where it's so predominantly off the jab, all his offense.
Yeah. You could see that everything he tries to do off the jab, be it offensive, defensive, or even when he's not doing anything. Feigning, leading, everything always follows with the jab.
I wish he would go to the body more with that right hand.
It's been there at home for most of this fight. This has literally been a battle of the lefts, a battle of the jabs. I have barely seen any of the rights being thrown by Bivol or Chilemba.
Yeah, Chilemba's threw him right there. Good right hand there by Bivol as well. The only time I've really seen the right hand be thrown without caution is when it's to the body from Chilemba. But both guys are, throwing a lot of left hooks, a lot of jabs, trying to, be the master of the range right now.
And they're doing just about everything with that left hand, too. Feigning, doubling, leading.
Good little 1-2 there by Bivol. Interesting how we mentioned the right hand, and now they're throwing it more often. It's like they heard us.
Yes, just like the commentary, too. You gotta love it.
I'm just saying. About 20 seconds left in the round. Bivol, my issue with Bivol is that he looks really good, right? Like this is good boxing, but nothing in here is making me think that he's the next great thing.
Yeah, he looks pretty standard.
Yes,
he looks very standard, not basic, but very standard.
And not to be that guy, but Chilemba and Barrera don't necessarily have the styles to beat methodical, fundamental boxers. Not in my opinion. You need someone with a little more athleticism, a little more unorthodox style to their fight game than a Barrera, who's very basic. If Bivol is ever called basic, Barrera is absolutely fucking basic. So I wonder what's gonna be the style to give him issues. Is it a mover? Is it a guy that can box well? Is it a southpaw, maybe,
A swarmer, really.
God knows.
It's going to be interesting to see what exactly you find himself vulnerable to.
Especially with such a good lead hand. Because even an athletic southpaw like Marcus Brown, who fought tonight and looked, let's be honest, kind of bad.
He looked awful,
He got knocked down against Lennon Castillo and got knocked down with a left hook.
Yeah, and this is
a shot that is one of, I think, Bivol's favorite shots. To be honest, his left hook is one that he likes to throw often, and it lands accurately and has some power behind it.
It's his second most used punch at the very least.
I think even Marcus Brown would have trouble and most likely get knocked out against Bivol. I don't think there's really a guy in the division right now. You know what? I'll put it this way: if he fought Adonis Stevenson next, I think Adonis Stevenson's awkward enough and has enough speed and power that he would give Bivol tons of issues. But vice versa, Bivol may have the fundamentals to just outbox and outwork.
Especially
Adonis Stevenson.
Especially if he catches Adonis on a night where he becomes a one-armed bandit.
True. Which he did not seem like against Badu Jack. That was a rare return to form, in my opinion, for Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah, that took you back to when he first was breaking out.
When he was first Superman.
Yeah, when he was first Superman, knocking out Chad Dawson, taking the soul away of Tavoris Cloud. It was nice to see that. Damn, those draws for Badu Jack, though. Seriously.
Poor guy, man. The amount of draws that guy has is insane.
Yeah, he's got about as many losses as you would expect someone to have losses. It's wow.
Good job there by Dimitri Bivol. Not much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Not much to write home about.
Yeah, it's pretty much just been a battle of the lefts with a right thrown here and there. And all we can really tell you is that, for the most part, Bivol's been controlling the jab game, and his lefts has seemed to be just a little bit better than Chilemba's. Good lead right hand, but it does not land.
From Chilemba. I believe... Like you said earlier, I think you made a really good, astute point about how both guys sort of like to fight at range predominantly, and this might be just a fight where both guys are at range boxing, and that's what we see. And it's kind of a pedestrian fight in a sense because I don't think neither guy is willing to commit. Oh, good 1-2 there by Dimitri Bivol as he ups the pressure right now as I'm talking.
A three-punch combination just thrown.
This Dimitri Bivol is much better. I think he can actually. I'm not gonna say he can get Chilemba out of there, but the few power shots he's landed on Chilemba you can tell they have an effect. Like Bivol does have that power. That is one thing that he is blessed with, it seems.
Yeah, and really what he needs is activity, you know,
Yes.
more with each punch than just the left hand. He's got a good enough left hand. We can all see that, but now, you know, how well does he implement a ride, a hook, a lead ride, so on and so forth, you know? How well is his follow-up game?
And it's not like Chilemba has like the skill and the reflexes to make Bivol pay for mistakes. I really don't think that's a case here. Like Bivol can take risk in this fight. This is a fight he should be taking risk in. Same with the Barrera fight. That should be these are fights that he should be taking risk in because technically he can. He's facing inferior boxers.
Yeah, for sure. And plus, we can see he's got the technique to back it up too. So if he does decide to get maybe a little bit rough, why not go for it? You know, your technique is fine enough as it is.
I want smoke.
The Thiago Santos Kevin Holland fight over in the UFC is over. I have no idea who won it. I haven't been watching. Just thought I should mention that. Santiago, thanks for covering me, man. As I take this drink of water.
Hey, just as Bivol takes a chug of water too.
Good old Bivol. Rory Jones must be telling him, like, Chilemba, you can't stay on the outside of this guy for too much longer. You're getting pieced up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not sure what the game plan was coming in. And to be honest, if it was just strictly trying to fight on the outside, distance has been playing in the favor of Bivol. That's good right hand to the head by Bivol.
That was a good right hand.
Distance has been playing in the favor of Bivol thus far. He's been controlling the mid-range better than Chilemba's been controlling.
Winging right hand from Chilemba misses, but Bivol comes back with a mean combination and swarm. Chilemba misses on more punches. This is eerily reminding me of like the way Spence darts in and out. And it's very minute darts. It's not like a Manny Pacquiao darting in and out, for example.
It's not dynamic. Right? It's not dynamic.
No.
It's very simple. It's very...
It's a half step.
Yeah.
It's maybe a step back and forth. And he's just able to just get out these punches rather simply. Bivol needs to start, I think, throwing more hooks in his game.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I value the fact that he's a very expert straight puncher. Like his straight punches are crisp. They're fundamentally sound. There's really no flaws in the way he throws them, both from an offensive standpoint and defensively. You know, he's not leaving himself open with these straight shots. But I think if he starts adding a little more hooks in these combinations, he'll start hurting Chilemba more. I think he's open to these hooks.
Yeah.
Because every time Bivol's thrown a left hook, it's seemingly landed, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. You know, add a little bit more versatility. You know, don't make yourself so predictable because a good fighter will pick up on the fact that he's been predominantly favoring just throwing straight punches and can easily take advantage of that.
Well, I mean, he's thrown 3 punches. Like in terms of punch selection, maybe it's to the body or head, but he's thrown a jab, a right straight, and a left hook. That's really all Bivol's throwing, similar to maybe a Mike Garcia. I want to see more uppercuts. I want to see more hooks added to the game, more of a right hook. The right hook's there. Chilemba's left hand's been down predominantly, even though he rolls with it pretty well, I would say. Every time Bivol's maybe added a little more arc to that right hand, it's landed over the shoulder and over the guard of Chilemba.
Yeah, and Bivol can get low just enough that he can make that into an overhand, stab the body, come on over the top.
Daniel Simpson in the chat saying, Bivol's a beast. He should finish Chilemba late. It's the 7th round, 30 seconds in. To me, it's all about if he just starts upping the work weight. Because
the work rate is what's going to determine whether or not this fight goes to distance or he gets a stoppage.
Because if he's staying at this pace,
it's going to distance.
It's going the distance. I really think so.
If he starts putting 3, 4, even 5 combinations, we could see him start to overwhelm Chilemba.
Like 3s and 4s, man. That's all he needs. He's been really throwing in 1s and 2s a lot, I would say. Like he's thrown a rare 3-punch combination here and there. But like you said, 4s and 5s, I think they would do a lot of work for him. Plus, like I've been saying, Chilemba is not that guy to counter you mid-combination. You know, you might try to trade with you and go to the body. Oh, shout out to Chris Pratt in the UFC event. Guardians of the Galaxy guy. And Parks and Recreation. Slightly better than The Office.
Kelvin Gastelum in the crowd, too.
Yes, I said it. Parks and Rec is better than The Office. Brian Ortega. What's up, Brian Ortega? Hope you're doing well.
And for those who probably didn't see the Andre Berto Devin Alexander fight,
We stopped.
Andre Berto defeats Devin Alexander by split decision.
Wait, can you repeat that again?
Andre Berto defeats
Wait, what?
Yes,
Yo, to be fair, we stopped watching I think round 7 or 8 because we had to switch over to the HBO card. So to be fair, ladies and gentlemen, we did not finish the whole fight. But when we stopped watching, it seemed like Devin Alexander was winning, and rather convincingly. And let's be honest, Robisky said in the chat earlier, I forget what was it. Hold on, let me. Where is it? Oh, that's right. Bonet got robbed against Sergey Lepinets. Yeah, it looked like the judges weren't on point there.
The judges made 2 very strange draw choices, and for very different reasons too.
Yes.
One should have been a draw, and then the other cards were super wide, and then the other cards had to be super wide, and one of them scored it a draw. It's like, yo, what's up with you guys today?
It was not good. Wawa in the chat saying Crawford versus Berto next with a bunch of laughing emojis. I'll be honest. I really wanted Devin Alexander to win.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win. I thought he had more to give. We'll have to see that fight and see whether or not the judges were on point, because if they were, then damn. I have to wonder what the hell happened.
Well, good jab there by Chilemba. About a minute and 50 seconds left in the 8th round of this title fight, ladies and gentlemen.
TJ Dillashaw they're showing his arrival on the UFC card right now.
He arrived there about an hour ago. I hate how they do this shit. No one cares. It happened an hour ago. Bivol's still in first gear. Oh, good jab lands from Chilemba there. I think Bivol's hittable, man. I think the problem with him is that if he starts facing guys that can equal his skill and power, like a Kovalev, Kovalev's going to be a much tougher fight for Bivol than I think what people are saying. Because I don't think Bivol's this great threat.
No, and Kovalev, for me at least, is a lot more refined right now with his fighting style than Bivol is. He may also only throw straight punches here and there with an occasional hook, but I feel that his technique, his movement is a lot better than what we're seeing here with Bivol.
And plus, Kovalev will throw in combination much more often, in my opinion. And I also will say that Kovalev has a underrated sense of accuracy for his shots. His shots land at a very accurate rate, I would say, and efficiently so. Then I would say maybe a Bivol. Even though Bivol lands at an efficient rate as well, I would say Bivol is maybe, I don't know, throws in less combination, maybe a little bit less accurate with the shots. He's still younger. That's just the thing. He's a younger fighter and a fighter with less amateur pedigree, I want to say, than Sergey Kovalev from what I remember. Though I could be wrong on that. Because Bivol never went to the Olympics. I forget who he lost to. I remember that being a big deal. Jay Project saying, what's y'all's fight priority tonight? That's a good question. We never mentioned that. Basically, we're going to hopefully get through all the boxing for HBO before any of the UFC title fights are on. Because if that happens, then there won't be any overlap. Because we don't need to talk about these prelim fights on the UFC pay-per-view card, I'll be completely honest. Not to disrespect them, not to disrespect Cub Swanson versus Renato Moricano. Great fight, but it's not Bivol, Chilemba, or Kovalev, Alvarez. So hopefully we watch these 2 fights, they get over, and we run straight into the Demetrius Johnson-Henry Cejudo fight. We cover all the title fights. That's what I hope.
Yep, we're just aiming for a smooth transition from boxing to the UFC.
Yes. We were going to do a short and immediate reaction for the Fox card for PBC, but it ran over time, and we couldn't do it, unfortunately.
Shout out to sharing the exact same time slots as every other fight.
Well, it didn't. It technically was supposed to be over at the same time that these things started, but to PBC's credit, all the fights went to decision, except for the Joey Spencer fight.
Yes, except for the Joey
Which
Spencer.
I'm pretty sure was not live.
And we missed the Richard Comey knockout, too, which sucked.
I don't think that was televised, though.
No, well, it probably wasn't televised.
Same with the Napoleon fight, and I think one of the Gary Russell brothers was not televised. One of them was.
One of them was, one of them wasn't.
Yes, because I think at least 2 of them fought on the card. maybe 3 of them.
And shout out to Alicia Napoleon getting married today, too.
Jay Parker saying, y'all missed the Thiago Santos fight? No, we watched it. We just didn't really commentate on it as much because the Bivol fight's going on at the same time. We're about 2 minutes, 20 seconds in the 9th round, which we're not talking about, by the way, which I feel like is an indictment on this fight and how entertaining it is. What else? Jay Parker say, and we missed the Brett Johns versus Pedro Munoz, which was a fucking war. But you know what was a war on the UFC card? Alex Perez versus Jose Torres. Damn.
I want smoke.
Damn. Now that was a fight. That was a fight right there. I'll say that.
Yeah, and it only went 4 minutes, but it was still a fucking war.
I think putting it 4 minutes might be putting it lightly, to be honest. Like it might have been shorter.
It ended in the first round, but it went a pretty good distance.
Yeah,
and it was fun. It was vicious. The landed percentage was nuts too.
It was like just Perez, right? Just Alex Perez. I think he landed 110 shots
out of 170 thrown
in 4 minutes. That is insane. But shout out to Bivol and Chilemba just doing their thing over here, just trading jabs, having a sparring contest right now. That's fun. That's what we all love to see, right? Viana versus Aldrich up next on the UFC card, a fight that we probably won't call unless this Bivol fight is over first. Rubisky challenged me a little bit, saying, Matt, Bivol is the man. Oh, Rubisky.
I want smoke.
He wants that smoke. He might be the man, but it's not like 175 is a super deep division, I would say, or super talented division at this point. We have Bivol and Beterbiev as the 2 young guys. You got veterans like Badou Jack, Adonis Stevenson, Sergey Kovalev. And that's about it. And then there's a big divide to everyone else. The Barreras, the Shabranskys of the world, even the Chilembas, the John Pascals. That's a deep fucking divide from that top 5 or so, right? Santiago, would you echo that, or do you disagree?
Yeah. You definitely have your top tier, and then there's everybody else.
And now, within that top tier, I don't think Bivol necessarily beats any of them. Not that he doesn't, but am I going to pick Bivol right now off the bat against Adonis Stevenson, Badou Jack, Sergey Kovalev, Artur Beterbiev? No, I'm not. He's only fought Salman Barrera and now Isaac Chilemba. And while those are 2 top 15, top 10 opponents, absolutely, that doesn't mean you can beat a Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson, a Badou Jack, or Artur Beterbiev. It just does not mean that yet. It doesn't mean he doesn't beat them and loses to them, but it doesn't mean he wins those fights yet. I think the jury is still out on Bivol in a lot of ways, and I think until he fights certain opponents, I need to see. I sort of need to I need to see what he is yet. Wawa in the chat saying Marcus Brown schools Bivol. I wouldn't say that.
No, I would not say that either.
Did you watch the Marcus Brown fight today against Lenin Castillo? Come on. Like, that's... Marcus Brown has a lot of work to do as well, I would say. And he is one of those where he may not be in that conversation with the top 5 at this point. And I don't think he belongs there. He just doesn't. Jay Project saying, fuck this new PC type of UFC where you got to put a women's fight on the main card, even if it's trash with 2 no-names. Well, to be fair, Jay Project, this entire card has been low-key trash. Let's be completely honest. Let's be honest, Jay.
Yeah, even for the UFC card.
This pay-per-view is I paid for it because it's my job, and shout out to everyone on Patreon. Remember, patreon.com/MixCombatRadio. Did I even do like the simple like YouTube shit like, yo, hit the like button, subscribe, share the show? I didn't even say that at the top, huh?
No.
God, I'm so trash. I am so trash. Come on. But yes. While I was saying Bivol don't look special either. But that's exactly what I'm saying, Wawa in the chat, is that Bivol is not that special of a guy. And you think Marcus Brown's going to school him? Marcus Brown is not that special.
No, his performance today left
He got knocked down by Lenin Castillo. I'm going to keep mentioning that name because we've never heard that name before. And I swear, he is he is exactly one of those guys. Remember in Fight Night Champion in your career mode, where you fought all those no-name like computer created fighters.
Yeah,
he was one of those fighters.
That's exactly
No, I swear to God, I fought a fighter on Fight Night Champion that was named Landon Castillo that looked exactly like that dude. Swear to God.
No, I would agree with you because I feel like I actually saw that same guy too. I have seen so many of those same computer characters come up in multiple career.
Oh my God! But anyways, so Fight Night Champion create a fighter that you used to beat up in your first 5 fights in your career. He knocked down Marcus Brown. Come on, the jury is out on a lot of these light heavyweights, in my opinion, and neither of them seem like this pound for pound super talent yet. Like none of them deserve to be in the discussion for pound yet, in my opinion. Even guys like Kovalev, like I'm sorry, like Andre Ward was that pound for pound talent in the division, and he left. Maybe Adonis Stevenson because of his longevity and what he's done in the division. Maybe. But come on. Jay Prodigy and Wawa in the chat going at it, both saying,
I want smoke.
Yeah. Ellie in the chat over there in the UK, I'm pretty sure this is an Ellie from Instagram who is a big UK fan, saying Buatsi is the future. That's how you know she's a UK fan, especially. Shout out to Joshua Buatsi, who probably is not necessarily the future, but he has a long career ahead of him, I would say. Him and Anthony Yarr, they do. You can just tell. Kovalev seems to be getting ready. What round are we in? The 10th, 11th? Almost over?
Almost over.
Thank God.
2-3 more rounds to go.
Thank God. Don't forget, everyone. I made the upset pick here. Alvarez is beating Sergey Kovalev. Yeah. Yeah, Jay wanted that smoke in the chat. I see you, Jay. You go get those boxing only fans that don't watch both sports. What round are we in? 10th, 11th? What are you guessing here, Santiago?
I'm gonna say 10th.
I think you're right.
Let's find out. And
they were both wrong. Damn. 11th round.
Hey, but that's at least one less round we have to wait for this to be over.
Yo, Letterman gave Chilembo the last round. And I'll be honest. Obviously, we forgot that round even happened. But, I mean, come on.
One round.
Really? Round. What has Chilembo done? God, I just want to see. You know what? Again, the best fight of the night so far has been Jose Torres versus Alex Perez at the UFC prelims on Fight Pass.
Yep.
Rubitsky letting us know, not forgetting, Matt, Bonet got robbed. Yeah, he kind of did. Sergey Lepinets looked like shit, man.
Yeah. He looked like he would have lost to the guy that lost to Mikey. Easily. He
looked like he would have been knocked out by the guy that lost to Mikey.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Like, we remember when he won the title and how he fared against Mikey. That was not the same guy we saw. That was an imposter who went by the name Sergey Lipinets.
Man, I don't know if he should go back down to 140 or what, but he just did not look good. He did not impress. Nobody really impressed on that card. Marcus Brown didn't impress. Though, you know what? We didn't see the Comey fight. And Comey got a second-round knockout, for all those that don't know. He did. I didn't see the fight. Obviously, it wasn't televised, or at least we didn't see it.
The best fight on the card for Fox was the Collazo fight.
But even that wasn't that great, I would say. We didn't see, a great knockout, great performance, I would say. Come on. It was just one of those ho-hum events.
Basically.
Yo, if Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw aren't fucking fireworks in a cage, I am going to be upset. This was a big weekend, and every fight's being kind of
Yeah.
We're in the 11th round, a minute left. I'm sorry we haven't said anything that's happened in the round.
But to be honest, I'm pretty sure you guys could rewind this, and you'd see what we were saying.
It's like we would be repeating ourselves so much here at this point that I really don't know what to say. Bivol, again, outboxing. He's just better sense of range, landing the better shots. Chilemba trying more now, I would say. Bivol's more on the back foot, definitely content taking the W and the decision. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's in there for the rounds and the experience, in my opinion, which I don't blame him. But for all the hype that he's been getting, this fight doesn't really show it yet.
No.
But you know what? Who did better beef last fight? Wasn't that kind of like a bad fight too? Like, neither guy has really been impressing that much, I would say.
No, and I think it was also a first round knockout for Beterbiev, but it was not at all impressive.
Rabitsky mentioning that draw card or scorecard at the Collazo Perella fight. Yeah, that was crazy, man. The fact that somebody gave Perella 5 rounds, when I'll be honest, I may have gave him 1. Maybe. That was crazy.
I gave him 1 and 1 mercy round.
It was like this Chilemba round that fucking Letterman just gave him. I was like, well, let's just give him a round. This shouldn't be this easy for this guy.
Especially a guy who's been around as long as Collazo has, since the Ricky Hatton days. Think about that.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Viana-Aldrich fight has started. About 2 minutes left in the round, out of a 5-minute round, obviously. I have not seen a single second of it, unless it's out of the corner of my eye, so I really don't have much to say about it. But just mentioning that's on for those that want to watch it. Twelfth and final round of Bivol versus Chilemba has started.
And Letterman has it.
But he gave 2 rounds to Chilemba. But you know what, to be fair, Bivol really didn't throw that much at all in that last round.
Yeah. At this point, he knows that he's got the lead, and he's just coasting.
Rabitsky asking a great question with Santiago I want you to look up, saying, Matt, Chilemba ever been KO'd? I don't think so, to be honest. I don't know 100% off the top of my head, but I don't think he's ever been knocked out. He's always known to be a tough, durable guy.
He has 1 knockout loss.
TKO or KO? That changes things. And are you signed into BoxRec? Do you know if it was a corner stoppage? Also matters.
It says here. Here it is. It was against Alexander Gvozdyk.
Vajdik.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he broke his hand.
Yes.
And the corner stopped it.
Yeah, that doesn't really count. That doesn't really count. Even though Vajdik was piecing him up, I'll be honest. That was not necessarily hurting him, but it was one of those where maybe because of the hand break and he wasn't really able to throw off of it, he was just getting touched up and getting hurt.
And I remember Chilemba actually looking pretty good, too, in that fight. He looked better than he does right now.
Jay Project saying, but retiring is still a KO, in my opinion. I think it's vastly different when you get hit with a shot and you go to sleep.
Yeah,
and that's a reoccurring thing than your corner stopping the fight. Those are vastly different things in what they're
different
indicate.
levels of how a fight is stopped. You've got being, your lights knocked out, getting stopped, and then your choice to just not continue for whatever reason.
Like look at Amir Khan. All of his stoppages have been clean knockouts, right? That's very different than, let's say, a guy whose all of his stoppages are via corner stoppages or cuts. The common one, fight being stopped to a cut. Vitaly Klitschko. Great example. Ooh.
Yeah, both of
Vitaly Klitschko being known as one of the guys with the toughest chins of all time, but he has a KO loss on his resume.
2 of them. One with a torn rotator cuff, and then the cut in the Lewis fight.
Yep. That's obviously vastly different than 2 KO losses that Amir Khan suffered against Breedis Prescott and Danny Garcia, just for example, even though he has more.
Yeah.
But those are just vastly different KOs. And obviously, if you just want to be of the mindset that they both are KOs, then you can be of that mindset. It's just not accurate. Context does matter. While I was saying I'm willing to bet Berto made more money than all of the UFC 227 participants. Probably right. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Boxers get more at the top. Boxers get more money, period, than UFC fighters. That's known.
And to answer Jay's question about Loma not having knockouts, The thing is that you can't really call Lomachenko a knockout artist in the same sense
Exactly.
of Mike Tyson.
Now, you might say Loma has some power. You can say Loma has respectable power because obviously these guys are being affected by these shots, but he is not a knockout artist. Clearly. Like, Deontay Wilder is a knockout artist.
Yeah, he's knocking motherfuckers out. I mean, you saw what he did, but...
It's just vastly different. It is.
Yeah. And that's why we do have corner stoppages, TKOs, and KOs. You don't see them being changed, you know? It's what it is. It's called a knockout or a TKO for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say corner retirements are not ruled a KO. I want to say they're ruled a TKO.
Yeah, most of them are called TKOs. On BoxRec, it's labeled as a RTS, corner stoppage.
Or RTD.
Yeah, RTD, corner stoppage. So, but as far as I've always been concerned, when the corner stops a fight, it's a TKO.
Jay, you have a very black and white sense of what a knockout is and what the definition of that is, man. I'm just going to leave it alone, buddy, because...
We've said what we had to say regarding
Yeah, I mean, if you cannot clearly understand the context between getting clean, one punch, going unconscious, versus I tore my shoulder out of place, I can't throw a punch anymore, it's an excruciating pain, I'm going to stop fighting. Those are vastly different finishes. Just are. And if you don't understand that, that's cool. It is what it is. Jay saying a TKO is a KO, Matt. Okay, man. Like, you, again, have a very black and white sense of what a knockout is. That is just not accurate to what anyone else thinks. You are on an island of one, Jay, by yourself, with this very weird definition of a knockout. But it is okay. I still love you, Jay. Still love you. Fight is over. Obviously, Dimitri Bivol, the winner.
Yeah,
by unanimous decision. We didn't hear the scorecards, but
it's irrelevant. Like,
yeah,
anyone
really
who saw
is.
this fight knows who won, and probably by how much he should have won too.
Yeah, there was no way to get a draw card on this one, I feel like.
Compared to what we saw on Fox, at least.
Yeah, because at least, like, Prella was, like, throwing a bunch of shots and shit like that.
And while we wait for the main event to start, any thoughts on Bivol's performance before we take a brief respite to shift over to the UFC card?
Well, no, we're not going. We're gonna wait till the Kovalev fight.
We're gonna wait till the Kovalev fight.
Well, you want to talk about the Viana Aldridge fight in the meantime? Oh, okay. I mean, Bivol did exactly what I kind of thought he was gonna do. I thought he was gonna be a little bit better.
Yeah, I definitely expected to see more out of Bivol, considering the hype behind what he is capable of, and I think he's capable of a lot more than what we saw tonight. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Quickly, Jay. I have no idea what you're talking about. We're talking about corner stoppages in boxing. That's a litany of things: injury, cuts,
desire just not to continue because you feel you can't win the fight anymore. You know, case in point, look at the...
And you don't want to take in more punishment.
Yeah, look, and in case in point, too, just look at the Sugar Ray Leonard Roberto Duran 2 fight.
Like,
he quit. He quit, and that's listed as a TKO. Did he get knocked out? No. He quit.
No, it's a knockout.
Exactly.
That's what Jay says, man. It's a knockout, obviously. That means Roberto Duran has zero chin. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, that's impressive.
He's not a tough fighter, apparently.
That's impressive.
Come on. What are you talking about here, Jay? I have literally no idea what you're talking about. But to digress to Bivol, I just had to address that, Jay, because you're cracking me up here in the chat. I think Bivol is... Here's my thing. He showed us everything we thought of him. Nothing new. Nothing less. Kind of just a ho-hum mediocre performance, but it's not one of those where I revert back or I go, oh, well, he's definitely not the guy we talked about.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, I think most people have the right conception of Bivol. He's a good champion. He's a good top 5 light heavyweight.
Standard.
But again, nothing illuminating in this matchup in any way, shape, or form. The Barrera fight was much better, I would say, as well.
Yeah, the Barrera fight was a lot better than what we saw. And really, that we could also put in part to the fact that, you know, Chilemba's always been a crafty guy. Like I mentioned before, he did go the distance with Kovalev, you know, and Kovalev was pretty much destroying people at that point. So it's kind of like maybe not destroying, but he was definitely showing that he was better than his opposition. And so I don't know. I mean, I think he has a lot more to offer us, and I look forward to seeing
How many fights is he in his career? Can you look that for me very quickly?
Dimitri Bivol?
Yes. All I was saying, Bivol's weak, all hype. Like that's the thing. Like this fight, you could have the vast range of opinions, the vast spectrum of opinions of Bivol, whether he's the next great light heavyweight or he's a bum that's all overhyped. This fight doesn't disprove any of that opinion.
Yeah.
Whether you have the highest opinion or the lowest opinion of him, you're probably going to pick out things in this fight that back up your opinion and your hypothesis on what Dimitri Bivol is.
Right now, he's that type of fighter, and this was that type of fight.
I mean, again, I keep comparing him to guys like maybe Spence and Mikey. I think Mikey's probably the better comparison, to be honest. Because Mikey was, he still sort of counted out a lot, I would say, in fights. Where he just has kept showing that he just, even though he's very fundamental and basic, he's just better than a lot of these guys.
It's very, very, very refined.
Yes.
Just like how Spence is very simple, but it's very refined in what he does. Right down to just the jab, how he throws it. It's very refined. And also, Bivol, as of now, is 14-0 with 11 knockouts.
Yeah, see, he still has a ton of time to go, man. That's the thing.
And he's only 27, too.
Well, I was saying who's the best striker in the UFC. There's a lot of guys. Israel Adesanya, Stephen Thompson, Darren Till, Jose Aldo. Fighters we're going to watch up tonight. Demetrius Johnson, I think, is one of those that doesn't get talked about enough for striking. That's obviously amazing. Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, Dominic Cruz, Joanna Jacek, I still think has phenomenal striking.
Oh, yeah. She looked amazing.
Chris Cyborg. There's a ton of fighters with phenomenal striking ability and top talent.
A lot of which is probably their forte more than anything else, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that's just a part of their arsenal. No, that's probably their main arsenal, and then everything else is secondary.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called mixed martial arts. They just have a lot of variety, but they do have their specialties.
While we're back, bringing up Marcus Brown again about how we don't think he has a shot against Bivol. I just think Marcus Brown's has a very rough style matchup against Bivol.
Yeah.
I think. I just don't think Marcus Brown wins that fight right now.
Not right now, and not with the performance he showed. He did not look good whatsoever, and he just looked bad all around, really. Right down to how he went down.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle coming in wanting that smoke.
I want smoke.
Saying Adesanya is not the best striker in the UFC. Well, Kyle, who is the best striker in the UFC then? And he's definitely one of them. You have to admit that. He is definitely one of the best strikers in the UFC. He may not be one of the best strikers in kickboxing, but in the UFC and MMA, yeah, he's definitely one of the better strikers right now. While asking who has a better resume, Garcia or Spence, probably Mikey.
Yeah.
You count like the Wama fight, the Orlando Salido fight, depending on what your opinion on is Latishinin and Lepinets, Broner.
Plus, Spence is still pretty young in his career too. He's only had very few names on his.
He has like 15 less fights than fucking Mikey does too. Like he has like 20-something fights. Mikey has like almost 40 fights. Come on.
Yeah.
Alvarez walking into the ring right now. Main event on HBO about to start. Kyle, I can't back you up here, and I love you, dog, but Kyle saying John Jones is the best striking. And no. His boxing is far behind a lot of people in the game. He may have great striking for his height and his reach and for what he has in the division and how he works his striking into his grappling game. He might be very adept at that, an expert in his personal brand of striking, but in terms of a complete striking package, John Jones is not that, clearly, I would say. Yeah, I can't back up John Jones being the best striker. His boxing is so poor. But Sergey Kovalev walking out now, holding up 2 belts. What's the other one? IBO?
Probably just like when old belt he used to hold. Because don't forget that he was unified champion at one point. You know how they like to just show off the belts.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
It is. It is so a thing that I just do not.
The only one that would be missing from that collection is the green one. And we all know why.
Jay Prajay backing me up here saying Dillashaw above John Jones in striking, in my opinion. I back you up on that, Jay. T. Dillashaw is a much more diverse and more efficient striker than John Jones. John Jones may be a better MMA fighter, but that wasn't the original question. It was the best striker. It's very specific. It's like Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz obviously have good MMA boxing, but if you're talking about the best boxers in MMA, they might not be on that list. Just because from a technical perspective, they commit a lot of errors in the game. Cal saying in a UFC fight, John Jones outstrikes everyone. I'm not even a fan of his, but it's the reality of it. Alexander Gustafsson. Sorry.
You gotta work on your coughing though, bro. Seriously.
Yes, you know that Swedish fucking phenom that everyone's forgetting about still because he's always injured. The one that arguably still beat Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Just saying. Come on. Wawa saying striker, just say boxer. Hashtag weirdos. Wawa, come on. I know you're trolling, but you know the difference between a striker and just a boxer. If you don't, and you're serious about that, you're kind of an idiot. Just being honest. David Fields is the ref of the main event, Kovalev versus Alvarez. Again, I'm picking Alvarez off the upset. Santiago picking Kovalev.
Yes, and I picked Cody Garbrandt just to troll him.
See, but, man, I keep going back and forth on that fight.
I'm just going to keep doing that until the main event finally starts for that one. It's going to be fun, just watching him.
I mean, I can see. You know how I get those like pre-fight hunches, man.
Yes, those famous Matt Hunter hunches.
I'm telling you, man. Even though I picked Dillashaw, Garbrandt first round knockout. I just got a pit in my stomach about it. I'm just saying.
You know, and it's funny too because I actually asked Matt off air too. Of the 2 picks we both have, which one would he rather get right?
And it's still kind of a difficult pick. But Rock Sports saying still doing Kovalev or nah. Yes, we are still doing the Kovalev live fight chat. We're right here. The main event's about to start.
They're doing the fighter announcements right now, and we're just waiting for the first round to start.
And Jay saying, I got a feeling Cody's going to take it too. And it's not that I think Cody's a better fighter because he's clearly not the better overall fighter. But, I mean, we keep mentioning timing and power. And those 2 characteristics or skills, I would say, are talents because it's not really skills. You can't really work on timing and power as much. Even though you can kind of work on timing, I will give you that. But I feel like those are natural talents people are born with. A natural sense of timing, natural sense of power. Cody just has those in spades. He really does. While I was saying Kovalev is a champ, what the fuck? Yes, he beat Shabransky, I believe, for a vacant title. You have to remember, right when he fought Ward for 3 of the belts out of the 4, Ward retired. So all 3 of those belts became vacant. So Betterby fought, I think, Enrico Colling for the vacant IBF.
Yes. And then so did Bivol for the vacant WBA, and then Kovalev, obviously, for the vacant WBO.
Yep. Which kind of makes sense at the time. Main event starting. Come on, hurry up. Last little face-off.
Hey, if you get lucky, maybe we get a first-round knockout just to make a swift transition. But no. You know exactly what's going to happen, my friend. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yo. I don't know if you're looking at the live chat. Santiago, I don't know if you have that up. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Yo, Kyle. Jay, I know you've been saying
I want smoke
from Kyle, but Kyle, from what I vaguely know, I believe used to be a kickboxer, like a Muay Thai fighter, or something along those lines. So you're gonna talk kickboxing. Kyle might outsmart you there. But first round starting, main event. Kovalev taking the center of the ring. Both guys exchanging jabs early. Trying to establish dominance and range early, I think, from both of them. Set the pace. Alvarez on the back foot already. I don't like that.
Yeah, distance is going to be something that's going to be key for Kovalev.
Good little combination of the body from Alvarez.
Yeah, work on that body and see just how well he's learned his lesson from the Andre Ward fight and if he's still susceptible. Another good straight lead to the body by Alvarez.
I think Alvarez, he needs to be the aggressor in this fight.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Kovalev has never been the best fighter off the back foot. Sort of needs to be the aggressor, needs to fight at a certain range. Upset that range, get in his face, make him be on the back foot, make him be in a fight that he does not like. Because if you give Kovalev the range and the space to work his game, he'll hit you with some really hard shots, basically, and he'll hit you all night long. Right hand from Alvarez misses. It feels like Kovalev already has his sense of distance down. Even though he hasn't been throwing a lot, everything he has thrown has seemed to at least kind of touch him. Kind of touch Alvarez, you know. He seems to get the distance down rather fast right now.
Yeah,
right hand of the body.
He is a
good left hand.
He's
there
a
from
really
Alvarez.
good mid-range fighter. He knows when he's within range and when he's not.
Alvarez to me doesn't really know his range yet, but he's landed some shots here.
Yeah.
About a minute left in the first round. Good jab there to the body by Kovalev. The jab is going to be very crucial in this fight. Good right hand to the body.
Right to the body. Good straight right to the body. Stabbing jab by Alvarez to Kovalev's body.
The real estate of this fight completely is favoring Kovalev right now. He has all the room to back up. He has Alvarez against the ropes, basically. Just jabbing him. Bringing it up and down. I think trying to get a sense of what Alvarez's reaction is going to be. Both fighters clinched up. A few rabbit punches from Alvarez. Kyle has corrected me. Just fought in July. Probably fighting in September too. Muay Thai. Oh, Jay.
I want smoke.
Oh. Be careful there in the chat, Jay. Might catch a spinning back elbow.
First round's over, and I give that one to Kovalev.
Yeah, easy first round for Kovalev. Controlled the pace, controlled the range of the fight. You know, where the fight was fought at. Landed more shots. More active. Literally won in almost every category of how to score a round, I would say.
Yep. 3 of the 4 at the very least.
Agreed. Let us know in the chat, obviously, who you thought won the round. I think we're all going to be in agreement for that one. What do you think Kovalev needs to do moving forward? Keep doing the same thing? Keep working on it?
He needs to keep fighting his fight, keep the distance, keep the fight at mid-distance. You know, don't let Alvarez, get on the inside because, as I told you off camera, I felt that the best route for Alvarez was to approach him the same way Tony Lewis did against Carl Dargan. And thus far, it's been a distance battle, and it's been a distance battle that is very, very, very at home for Kovalev.
Yeah, I mean, this is the mistake Andre Ward made in their first fight. He fought a range battle with Kovalev, and in the second one, he decided, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be on the inside. And even though he's not the greatest inside fighter, he knew he could just upset Kovalev enough, upset his rhythm enough. Oh, good 1-2 there from Alvarez. Kovalev tried to roll with it from the jab, but the right hand, I think, landed pretty clean.
Yeah.
Oh, another good right hand there from Alvarez, being able to land his shots a little bit more effectively in this round so far. About 2 minutes left in the round. Good double jab there by Alvarez. I think there's a hand speed difference in favor of Alvarez in this fight, slightly.
Slightly, yes. I feel he probably has the best chance to get his punches off, but Kovalev is just a little bit more composed and with his choice selection of punches, too.
Well, plus, I mean, Kovalev is the more experienced fighter here, clearly.
Clearly, of course. He was a unified champion at one point, and he fought one of the best of our generation in Andre Ward.
And one of the best in the last generation, B-Hop. Still arguably his best win. Alvarez still on the back foot a lot, which I don't like. I don't understand that thought process of allowing Kovalev to be the aggressor. And it's not like he tried to fight that battle and just lost and now is fighting off the back foot and having to adapt. He immediately allowed Kovalev to take the center of the ring off the first round and decided to be on the back foot, which makes zero sense to me. Jay Prajay saying, no! The Swanson fight is happening same time as Kova Alvarez. I know. But luckily, we will be watching both. And maybe one of us will just stick to one of the fights because we know that one of you, at least in the chat, really wants us to talk about Cub Swanson, Hinata Morikano.
Matt.
What you want me to talk about? Cub Swanson, Hinata Morikano? Good right hand there from Kovalev. When the fight starts, I might do that. Just for you, Jay. Just for you.
I want smoke.
That's not what I meant to press.
Yo.
I deeply apologize for that.
But Matt always wants smoke. He's always smoking.
That's true. But in that case, in that instance, I was good. I wanted to help, I didn't want the smoke. Shit happens.
End of the second round as Alvarez and Kovalev lay on the ropes for a bit.
That was kind of weird. They got trapped there, it looked like. Rock Sports saying Roy Jones says he doesn't like the way Kovalev is looking, his face and his body language. I don't know about that. I think in terms of body language, he looks fine. To me, he looks like he's in control. It's the moments when he's not in control that all of a sudden his body language changes, and that's been a thing that's plagued him throughout his entire career. He needs to be the lead dance partner in the contest. And every time, in the moments Alvarez has switched it up on him and decided, hey, I'm going to be the lead dance partner, you can tell Kovalev gets frustrated by that. And that's just a problem he's always had in his career and one that he has not seemingly fixed ever, I would say. And who's his trainer right now? Do you know? Because obviously he moved from John David Jackson a while ago, I want to say. A couple fights ago.
I think it's a Ukrainian coach. I'm not entirely sure.
Just some guy.
Some guy he trusts.
No connection to the Lomachenko Ukrainian team?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If there were, I think we would have seen them.
Oh, God. Good combination there from both guys. Oh, both guys trade jabs. Snap each other's heads back. Oh, Alvarez is laying that jab a lot more now, but Kovalev is throwing combination. That's the trick, man. Kovalev is more of a combination puncher than a lot of people, I think, give him credit for. And Alvarez is sticking to 2s and 1s. Yo, Kyle saying TRT Vitor Belfort is the greatest UFC striker of all time. No, you are fucking absolutely right. If anyone challenges TRT Vitor,
I want smoke.
Don't be mad on me.
God bless the TRT era. See, the problem with Kovalev right there is that, like, even when he does throw combinations on the inside, he's not as accurate as he is on the outside. He is so accurate in the mid range that it's so odd how when he's immediately on the inside, his accuracy just goes away instantly.
Yeah, and it's a very fascinating concept to know that there are actually 3 levels of distance within the fighting game too. You know, a lot of people would think, oh, it's just the inside and the outside, but no, Kovalev is showing you that that
mid range.
That mid range
good little left hook there from Kovalev.
It is very crucial to him.
When you can throw straight shots and throw hooks and they all land, because when you're on the far outside, those hooks may not land, but your jab and right straight might, or left straight if you're a southpaw. Inside, they all should land, plus the uppercut. That mid-range hooks and straight shots should land, not the uppercut. That's sort of maybe the very generic, easy way to define the distance on what it is and the difference between the three. It's just the sort of punches you can throw, how far you can, how you extend your shots in your sort of shot, I don't know, technique, I would say.
Yeah.
By the way, the Moicano and Swanson fight has started. I'll try to cover that a little bit as Santiago watches the Kovalev Alvarez fight.
And with only 40 seconds left to go in the round, Matt's got a little bit of time to kill.
Moicano missing with some shots on the outside. Huge size and reach advantage for Moicano's. Has a lot of hype behind him.
Good little combination exchange by Kovalev and Alvarez as Kovalev puts on the pressure.
Good left hook there from Moicano. Cub Swanson sort of on the decline, as most people know. His last fight, Frank Yeager, was just was rough. Good lead left hook there from Cub Swanson.
As the round ends for Kovalev and Alvarez.
Yo, we haven't done one of these in a long time, man. I hate this shit.
What, the dual broadcast?
Yeah, I hate it, man.
I think this is like our second one thus far.
It's our second one.
And our first one in studio.
Yes, that's true. At least that makes it easier.
Yeah, of course it does. And you got 2 TVs. Oh, we need a third one for every other sport.
Like just the ESPN, like Sports Center playing.
Exactly.
That's true.
We got HBO, Showtime, Fox, ESPN. God, all the TVs that could be in this.
I can't wait to actually renovate this fucking studio to where like we can show everyone here what it looks like. Because right now it looks like utter shit. It's definitely a work in progress. Shout out patreon.com/MixSummerRadio. And shout out to Amazon. Okay.
Oh, that's a fun story if you guys want to see Matt become an angry white person.
Yo, man. I became that person that wanted to call the manager, and I did call the manager. I called Amazon. I was not happy. They threw my packages across the side gate of my house on my trash cans. They didn't press the doorbell. Didn't knock on the door. Nothing.
They didn't even call you.
No.
And some of them actually call instead of ringing the doorbell just to tell you, hey, we're outside.
No, motherfucker threw my fucking packages that are paid for by Patreon members to try to get equipment for callers. By the way, we don't have all the equipment yet. Again, shout out to Amazon. Oh, Cub Swanson's about to get knocked out. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is rough, ladies and gentlemen. Cub Swanson getting up. Call the boxing there, Santiago. I see you looking.
Alvarez coming up with a 2-punch combination of the body. Kovalev coming back with jabs. And pretty much just controlling the distance of the fight thus far.
Moicano, just to give you a little update, obviously hurt. Cub Swanson dropped him, swarmed him. Wasn't able to finish. Cub Swanson got up but was taken down. Moicano in full mount here right now and seemingly trying to set up either arm triangle or lay down some brutal ground and pound and finish the fight. 1:30 left in the first round.
Kovalev coming up with a good straight right that almost looks like it's about to put Alvarez down. And he's starting to really put on the pressure right now with a combination of punches to the head. Uppercut to the head. Alvarez firing back with a jab. They're fighting with the jabs right now. Kovalev coming back with a straight and then a jab.
God, the accuracy of Kovalev right now is insane. Good little shots there to the body there from Alvarez, though. But he is just getting outgunned right here.
Yeah.
The power difference is vastly. Oh, Moicano locking up a rear naked choke over in the UFC. It doesn't have it under the chin, but he might get the neck crank. Putting a lot of force on that chin. He has it. Cub Swanson tapped out. 45 seconds left in the first round. Moicano picked up his greatest win so far in his career, beating one of the perennial top guys in Cub Swanson, who looks absolutely disappointed. Very sad to see. Moicano showing, great respect for Cub Swanson. That is sportsmanship, ladies and gentlemen. This is what fighting is all about. Right there. That was a great little moment right there. Cub Swanson obviously emotional, losing. Definitely a sign of where he's at in his career and him realizing that all in that moment. And Moicano just telling him, no, it's okay. You're amazed. You can just tell him, say all the platitudes you can think of, and then literally bowing with his head to the ground in front of Cub Swanson. Like, no, you're the man. Salute to both those guys. Great little moment there.
That just takes you back to like the days when Rocky fought Joe Louis, and you could see that it hurt him to fight him, but you know, it was a great win for Rocky Marciano.
Yes. What is it? The 5th round ended for Kovalev Alvarez right now. Both guys throwing hard leather in that round. Kovalev obviously getting the better of it, landing the harder, better shots. Obviously the heavier hitter of the two. And more accurate puncher. Like, that is, I think, playing a huge factor here.
Oh, yeah, handedly. Like, you could see Alvarez throwing back, but the guy who's landing the cleaner shots right now is Kovalev. And more so than anything, the returns are coming at the distance, too. They're not coming on the inside where he's vulnerable.
Agreed. I wonder, if you're Alvarez, what do you do here? Because even, like, there's times he tried to fight on the inside, and it seemed like Kovalev was just... He's just too good for him. He's able to really not have to stay in there too long. And even if he's stuck in there, he's able to throw enough hard shots to sort of...
Force him out.
Yeah.
Force him back into the mid-range.
Exactly.
That's exactly what Kovalev's been doing thus far. You know, he's working those combinations too, you know.
Working in the body, up top. Beautiful stuff here from Kovalev in that round. Fifth round.
Bless you.
Thank you. I should have muted your mic. I didn't think about that, to be honest. I muted mine. I'm like, oh, shit. You can still hear me on yours, but it's all right. It's all right.
It's okay, man. First the pizza, then Amazon. You've
Yo,
had a long
man.
day. You've had a long day.
Yo, fuck Amazon, man. I swear to God. And the cords didn't even work, man. I have to buy new ones. Shout out to Patreon, man. Without you guys, the studio would not be made or getting made. Good combination of the body. Kovalev complaining about it being too low, but it was not low in my opinion. That was right on the belt line. Again, Kovalev usually being a guy that doesn't like body work. Alvarez trying to duck under the jab for some reason and sort of evade and roll with it, but he's not doing it well enough, or just not. He shouldn't be doing it, period, because Kovalev's been able to land that right straight when Alvarez is fully extended off the reflex and really can't bend anymore and roll with the shot anymore. Alvarez is having, zero idea of how to actually fight Kovalev in here. Game plan. I've been talking about it all week.
And this is the theme that's been running.
Alvarez having no game plan here is crucial to Kovalev just, I think, outfighting him, outgunning him. Because Kovalev knows what he wants to do. He instinctually knows what he wants to do. He wants to fight at mid-range.
Good straight right to the head by Kovalev, catching Alvarez as he throws a jab. Kovalev he's just taking over this fight now. Like, you can see that Alvarez is very hesitant. He doesn't know what to do or what he wants to do.
Yes. Alvarez seems frustrated. He seems frustrated. He seems confused. He seems almost worried. You can tell the power and the aggression of Kovalev, I think, is bothering him. Very curious to see what Alvarez can do to sort of change this up, switch up the momentum and pace.
Another good straight right to the head by Kovalev.
As Alvarez tried to rush in. Ooh, good check hook there from
Kovalev.
Good combination there of the body.
30 seconds to go in the
fifth round.
It's
kind of hard to see, isn't it?
It is. I miss the old font. It was pretty big and bright and very golden color.
Kyle saying, what's the best stream for UFC? If you're not using First Row Sports, which you said it's been fucking up, stream to watch. Stream, as in like a river, a stream. 2, as in the number, and watch. You can sort of get it. VIP League. Those are usually my go-to 3. If those aren't working, then probably none of them are working.
In which case, our condolences.
Yes, which in our case, you can either buy the UFC fight or listen to our live fight chat. And like the old radio days.
Yes, back when television was not even a thing.
Yes, the golden times.
And everyone surrounded one radio station to hear the fights.
The whole block.
The Joe Louis days, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, the good old days. Where you used to either go watch the fight with 120,000 other people in New York or listen to it on radio. Good times.
And sometimes even listening to them from the store.
That's true.
They couldn't afford a radio, so the next best thing.
Well, it's like the old idea of like like the TV store back in the day. Like it's in every movie, like in this, like from the 60s to the 80s, every movie had this scene where it's the glass window in the storefront, all the TVs in it, and it's playing the news or whatever, and like something's going on in the world, and everyone's watching it in front of the window. Like it's that sort of shit, but with radio.
Yeah, but with radio.
Yes. 6th round has started. Harold Letterman giving every round but the second to Sergey Kovalev, which I pretty much agree with. Kovalev already taken the center of the ring, just being the more dominant, more authoritative fighter, you can tell.
Yeah. And, I mean, we're seeing, pure Sergey Kovalev in form. You know
what else we're seeing?
What else are we seeing?
Oh, there we go. You knew exactly what I was going to say, didn't you? You knew it.
It's probably the only thing you can troll me on at this point.
Oh, my God. Santiago.
I've trolled you on everything else.
Get that fucking goddamn mic to your fucking mouth.
Pause. I'm just waiting for Cody Garbrandt to get the win right now at this point.
Why? You just want to rub in my face, don't you?
Oh, of course.
I'm already going to take a big fat L with Alvarez, man.
Hey, and you had the second hardest pick in which one you wanted to be right, too.
Yeah, you know what the thing is that I hate when I,
good body work by Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, by the way.
I hate when I underrate certain champions that everyone else seems to rate. It's those times I think I'm getting my hipster bag. I'm just not. I fail. Like, for every Julius Ndongo over Edward Tarnowski, there's the Dejan Zlaticanin over Mike Garcia.
Yes.
Remember that one? That was a good one.
remember a very, very... I was there live to win that pie bet.
Yes. For those that do not know, old times. And I'm sorry for upsetting you and not talking about the fight. Kovalev's winning. He's landing right hand right there. It's kind of a ho-hum round. He's just doing what he usually does. But anyways, back in the day in the other channel, when I was just starting off, me and Santiago made a pie bet. If you don't know what that is, if the loser obviously gets a pie, a baked pie, thrown at the other's face.
And this was before we became friends, too.
This was before we became friends.
I felt very strongly about Mikey.
I did not.
He felt very strongly about Dejan. And I, as far as I was concerned, had the easiest bet I could have won.
And I'll just put it this way. Santiago got one of those, store-bought, grocery store fucking awful pies that wasn't cooked and was a apple pie. So the entire thing was crust. Okay? Not what's the common thing that's in all the movies? Is it cream pie? No, what's it called? Not cream pie. That's that fucking porno thing.
Although, don't forget that in England, that is an actual pastry.
That is an actual pastry. That is true. Which I wonder if is that confusing for people in the UK?
To be honest,
maybe a certain age bracket, but
everybody else is I've seen the jokes. Believe me, I've seen so many jokes where someone says that, and every one of my friends just chuckles because.
What's the pie that's always? It's not lemon meringue. What the fuck is it?
Although it's one of the most common ones I've heard. It's one of the most common ones I've heard. Apple pie, lemon meringue pie.
No, the
cherry
pie. The pie that's used in the movies and in the TV shows to pie people. It looks like it's just whipped cream on crust.
I always just call it a whipped cream pie. I have no idea if it has an actual name, to be honest with you.
I feel like it has an actual name. There's somebody that must be listening on the podcast or on YouTube right now.
Anybody that knows
exactly what we're talking
feel free
about.
to comment on what exactly that pie is called if it has an actual name. But suffice to say, though, I was not the one that actually threw the pie at Matt. We let the birthday boy that night.
It was Fern. Yeah, shout out to Fern.
Pie Matt. Because it was his birthday. He deserved it. And I still enjoyed myself that night, even though I got pretty wasted.
Which is kind of a consistent for you. 7th round about to start, ladies and gentlemen. Sergey Kovalev clearly won that last round. He's clearly in control here. I think Alvarez, he might get stopped here. I truly believe that. Not necessarily in this round, but coming up, maybe in the next few rounds. But it depends if Kovalev really presses him. If Kovalev presses him, I think he stops him. I truly think that.
Yeah.
Some low shots there from Alvarez.
Keep working those combinations and 3s and 4s, and sooner or later, you're going to find Alvarez, having the referee call the fight.
Kyle saying lemon cream pie. I feel like that's right. But yet part of me feels like it's not right.
Part of me feels like he's just mixing whipped cream and lemon meringue. Don't lie, you can see that.
Yo, but lemon meringue pie is fucking delicious. Just saying. Just saying.
You know, it depresses me to know that I don't like pie.
Oh, pie is much better than cake. Like exponentially better than cake.
Dude, I want to like pie. Like, I remember as a kid asking my mom to buy me pie, and, like, the day that I actually had a pie, I didn't like it, and that broke my heart.
That is sad. I definitely feel sad for you, and I pity you. Good right hand there from Kovalev, man. It's every shot he seems to be throwing, it lands right now. That's the thing. I don't know what Alvarez does, because even on the inside, he's been ineffective right now. He's completely given up jabbing, I would say.
Yeah, the jab is
he's not fighting the jab.
Yeah, the jab game has just like disappeared on Alvarez. Right now, it's just all circuit Kovalev at this point.
Well, and plus, I mean, Alvarez doesn't use any head movement. He doesn't parry shots. He literally hopes that his guard is able to block and absorb your punch, and that is it.
Oh, and Kovalev goes down on a straight right to the temple. Holy shit, that is one way to turn that fight around, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Well, maybe the fight is different now. Oh,
and Alvarez is coming out with
Kovalev
the fire.
Kovalev is hurt.
Oh,
good jab there from Alvarez.
You could see Kovalev's
good right hand there. Kovalev is hurt. He is deeply hurt, ladies and gentlemen. A minute left.
Can Alvarez capitalize on this?
I don't know. He's allowing Kovalev back in it just a little bit. Oh, good right hand.
Keep working that inside. Alvarez just needs to keep working that inside.
Throwing combination, man. You gotta go. You gotta just let it go. You have to. Good right hand there.
Oh, and down goes Kovalev again on a right hook, left hook combo.
Left hook really is the one that set him down. Kovalev is vastly hurt. He's getting up, but he is
wobbly on his feet, ladies.
This fight might be called.
Yo, this would be one of the
20 seconds left. 20 seconds left. He might be really hurt. He might. Oh, wow. He is not there. He is not there.
And
fight's
it's
over. Wow.
Wow. Alvarez with the come from behind knockout victory over Sergey Crusher Kovalev and the new WBO light heavyweight champion of the world.
Wow.
And you can...
I was right! I called it! Yeah! Oh, my God! Yes, all you Kovalev fans! Suck these hairy nuts, a la what Tyson Fury said. Okay? Damn. I was right.
You should be...
And, yo, Cejudo is about to walk in the cage. It is timed perfectly. Literally, if this fight had gone any longer,
we would have missed it.
We would have had to overlap it slightly with this title fight with Demetrius Johnson. Wow, they're showing the replays right now. Right hand coming over the lazy jab of Kovalev, rocks and sends Kovalev down, and it just kept coming.
Right over the shoulder, and
it even kind of bounced over the shoulder. It looked like.
Yeah, it did.
Wow, yo, Kyle, I was gonna say this. Because me and Kyle had a huge argument on Patreon because I put out MCR's top 10 pound for pound list.
I saw.
Kovalev not being on the list was kind of controversial for Kyle. Kyle saying, well, I guess that solidifies Kovalev not being pound for pound. Damn fucking right. They're showing the second and last knockdown. Left hook, right hand combo. Oh, I didn't really see that right hand that landed that clean. You're right. It was more of a right hand that put him down in that left hook. Boom. Damn. And
that's the left hook you saw.
No.
Oh, no, this was the last knockdown.
That was the final knockdown. That was the third knockdown. That was the one that actually finished it. Wow. And you're new WBO light heavyweight champion, Edler Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen. The guy that took step beside money after step beside money that everyone said was scared of the top.
Comes back with...
Huge comeback win. Knockout of one of the greats right now, I would say, in the game. Even if he's not in my top 10 pound for pound, easily still top 20 fighter in the world, I would say, up until this fight. And then Alvarez come from behind, knockdown. 3 knockdowns within 1 round. Finished him. 7th round knockout. Absolutely fantastic performance. Just salute to him, man.
Yeah, man. I mean...
He just caught him, and he did not let up. Once he had Kovalev hurt, He swarmed him.
He had that killer instinct in him to follow up and just go for gusto at that point, and you got to be happy for him. He's the Storm overcame the Crusher.
That is still such a great sort of nickname, not the comparison, juxtaposition. Anyways, some great people in the chat or great comments in the chat. PBC beats HBO hype job. That's funny because Alvarez was a PBC hype job at first and Kovalev hype job. I like that. That was humorous. Casey Cobra saying Trump is pissed. Ooh,
Don't be mad on me.
that's okay. Go be mad at LeBron James some more there, Trump. Jay saying no. I wanted to see Koba versus Stevenson. Yeah, it seems like that fight's never going to happen now, huh?
Now we're getting an all-Canadian showdown. Just another one of the casualties.
It's crazy that fight is one of those fights that just is never going to happen. Adonis Stevenson versus Sergey Kovalev.
I'm sure you could do a show of the fights that we've lost over the years,
Oh, my God. That would be a great show. But just fantastic performance from Alvarez. He's getting his post-fight interview right now. You want to turn up the volume just a little bit, Santiago? I'll mute you, Mike. You're good. You're muted. Who else? What's some other good comments? Kyle saying, somebody get me a crow. I'm eating it head first. Where's some gunshots for you, Kyle, instead? Santiago, just listen to this. Make sure you translate and all that shit for us. That'd be beautiful. Thank you. Whenever you get your mic out, unmute it. I don't want you to have to hear that bullshit. There you go. You're good. You're hot, as they say in the industry. Translate. Come on, our Hispanic correspondent.
Basically, he's just giving his thanks to everyone in Colombia and in Canada. Basically, acknowledging where he's from and where he lives now.
I forgot he was Colombian. Yo, the list of Colombian champions is probably very small.
It's very small, but very notable, too, interestingly enough. When you look at Colombians, you can't really overlook them. Just look at Cotto's firefight with a Colombian. I forget his name, but it was beautiful.
Colombians sort of have the Argentinian like stereotype where they're hard hitters, not really the most refined boxers because they really have no amateur system, but just natural fighters.
Yeah,
they definitely have that sort of stereotype. Shout out to Max Kellerman, man. We never see him in boxing anymore, it feels like. He went to ESPN. HBO stopped doing boxing. They've had 3 fight cards this whole year. Right? Has it only been 3? No, it's been 4, I think.
I think 4 total.
4 total.
And then we're still waiting on the Canelo Golovkin fight.
That doesn't count. It's pay-per-view. I'm sorry. It just doesn't count. And plus the Daniel Jacobs fight. That's probably going to be on pay-per-view, obviously. Not pay-per-view, HBO.
I'm about to say, man, that would have been bullshit.
Yes. Johnny with a bunch of laughing face emojis saying, bruh, what the fuck? Hey, man, shit happens, man. Alvarez, I called it, ladies and gentlemen. I called it. Who was the only media person that picked Alvarez? Me. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'll say that. I'll say I'm the only one. All right, but Santiago, you can turn off the volume of the HBO telecast as we now officially switch over fully now to the UFC, to Demetrius Johnson versus Henry Cejudo in their rematch for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the world. Both guys are in the cage. Bruce Buffer is reading off the final announcements. It's about to go down. Kyle saying, I got Garbrandt and Mighty Mouse. I mean, who doesn't have Mighty Mouse? I mean, come on.
He's a real life video game character, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
He breaks the game he's in.
Oh, he's much better than the UFC video game. Much better. I mean, that submission over Ray Borg, I think, technically cannot be computer generated.
It never will. It's just one of those things.
It never will. First round about to start. I'm pretty hyped for this because it's one of the best. I mean, that is, whatever you think about Demetrius Johnson, he is definitely one of the best fighters in the world right now in all combat sports, easily.
And making the 12th defense of his flyweight championship too.
Improving on the already huge record that he set, beating Anderson Silva's record of most consecutive title defenses. First round started 4 minutes and 50 seconds in if you want to sort of sync up with us. Demetrius Johnson taking the outside. A lot of movement, switching stances. Cejudo taking the center of the cage. I think just sort of trying to get his bearing down, trying to get the speed down from Demetrius Johnson. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that the first fight ended rather quickly where Demetrius Johnson literally landed every single one of his strikes and defended every one of the takedowns of Henry Cejudo and got him out of there within like a minute and a half. So I think no matter what happens, it must be a more competitive fight than the first time. It has to be. But already the sort of the real estate of the fight has switched. Demetrius Johnson is now the aggressor, has took the center, has forced Henry Cejudo behind the center, double back lines. Cejudo landing a good right-hand counter right there.
He's really putting the pressure on Cejudo, too. Like, you can just see it.
Yeah, it was really quick there where, I mean, Demetrius Johnson went from on the back foot, a lot of feints to, nope, I'm the aggressor. I'm going to start tracking you down. But neither guy really, I think, committing to any shots yet. Kicks here and there to try to find the range, in my opinion. Level change feint there from Demetrius Johnson. Leg kick attempt that misses. I think Cejudo is probably hoping that he can catch Demetrius with a big shot and change the fight. I think he knows you can't go tit for tat with Demetrius Johnson. Too fast, too skilled, too much of a work rate. You're gonna have to time him. You're gonna have to hit him at the right moment when he's darting in. Similar to, I would say, what a Cody Garbrandt game plan would be against T. Dillashaw. You're really not thinking of outpointing your opponent. You're thinking of catching your opponent and hurting them.
Catching him in between his shots, taking advantage of the stun.
When he darts in and is trying to exit, that's when you're trying to catch him. On that exit, when he has his hands down, his chin up, that's what you're trying to do. Both guys really not landing anything of note yet. Halfway mark in the first round. Combination there from Demetrius Johnson. Not much of it landed. Neither guy has their distance or range down, I would say. Good leg kick there from Demetrius Johnson. Both guys switching stances quite often. Even Henry Cejudo switching stances.
It's been a
good right straight there from Demetrius Johnson.
2 minutes ago in the round, and it's been a pretty good feel-out round for both fighters.
Cejudo missing a lot of his shots, though. I will say that. Demetrius Johnson's able to duck under, roll under, evade. Lunging left hook there from Demetrius Johnson.
Good leg kick to the body by Demetrius Johnson.
Well, it would just be a kick to the body. Because leg kick, where you're going to kick with your hand. See, that's when I need like the drum set soundbite. Hey, that would be funny.
My forte is boxing.
That is true. That is very true.
I am the casual fan here now with the UFC and MMA.
That's okay, though. We still love you.
I'm sure you do.
Right hand from Henry Cejudo misses.
I love how flashy the misses have been thus far.
I'm surprised neither guy has really tried to capitalize on these guys missing or on his opponent missing yet. Like Cejudo hasn't tried to just lunge in there after like Johnson missed a leg kick or something like that.
Neither has Johnson either.
True, but I think Johnson's wary of that power. I think that's why. I think Johnson's thinking, I'm good. Like I can just outpoint this guy. Like I don't need to be that guy to try to get him out of here. I'm just gonna do my thing. Oh, good right hand there from Henry Cejudo. I tried to take him down. Good right hand there. Good left hook there from Henry Cejudo as Johnson got back up to his feet off the takedown. 30 seconds left in the round. Tight round to a score, I would say. Neither guy really being effective or landing anything clean.
Cejudo having the better moment, though, of that round.
Just because of that one moment right there?
Yeah.
I would argue.
It could probably help them seal the round, considering that both guys haven't really been able to do much on each other.
Maybe. One of those rounds where, I mean, I'm not mad at any way you score it. It could be a 10-10, 10-9 either way, to be honest.
Yeah, easily.
Second round coming up. Let us know in the chat who you thought won that round. Very close round. Like Santiago said, I mean, echo it. Obviously, Cejudo had, I would say, the bigger moment, using air quotes, but even that moment was
very brief.
Very brief and not much of a moment to begin with. Again, every bit of a feel-out round, as you can expect. Though you can tell that the respect level from Johnson to Cejudo is vastly different than the first fight. Vastly different. Which, I mean, Cejudo's deserved. He has earned that respect. He has looked vastly better since their first fight. Seemed more dedicated to the sport. You know, it's not just a boxer wrestler, to use that very awful term, or I would say just generic overused term, but actually being more of a full-fledged MMA fighter. I think Cejudo, I think is showing enough looks for Johnson to be wary, and that's interesting in and of itself. Like, we're seeing a measured Demetrius Johnson instead of the reckless abandonment. I'm going to just pull a video game combination on you. Single leg takedown attempt from Demetrius Johnson. Can he get it? He should look to trip that back leg. But then again, Henry Cejudo is a gold medalist in the Olympics for wrestling. He is one of only, I believe, 3 fighters in UFC history to be a gold medalist from the Olympics.
That's an impressive feat.
And one of them is it Mark Schultz from way back in the 90s. So that puts it in comparison. I believe the other one is Kevin Randleman. I could be wrong. I don't know if Kevin Randleman was a gold medalist. I know he was Olympian. You're looking that up right now? Thank you. Second round has started. A minute down. 4 minutes left in the round. Good right hand there from Demetrius Johnson. I wish Henry Cejudo maybe committed a little bit more. I think he's worried about maybe the transition takedowns, like he tried to just pull there on Demetrius Johnson. I think he's worried about that a little bit from Demetrius Johnson because he has such a fast duck under double leg. But I think Cejudo sort of needs to be a little more the aggressor. I think allowing Demetrius Johnson to sort of dictate the pace, be the lead dance partner, I think is a detrimental game plan to what he's trying to do, even though I understand what maybe the long-term strategy is for that. But in the short term, you're losing rounds. And against Demetrius Johnson, that may be exactly what you need to do, is win rounds against him. You know, he may not afford you that one shot, that one opportunity to finish him, and you may just not get it. He may not present the opportunity to you. About halfway to go in the round, Demetrius Johnson landing a good right hand of the body. Good leg kick there from Demetrius Johnson.
No medal.
No medal for Kevin Randleman?
No.
Thank you. So I think it is just Mark Schultz and him, man. I feel like there's a third one. Oh, that's going to bug me.
Anyone in the chat happens to know who that third would be, please let us know.
It might not be for wrestling, though. Maybe that's what I'm...
Hey, you never know. You might have a wrestling fan in here. It is...
No, I mean, like, that third gold medalist may not be, let's say, wrestling. Maybe judo. It may be something else for the Olympics. But I don't know. Do not quote me on that.
But it is recorded. But
don't quote me on that. Good leg kick there from Demetrius Johnson. Neither guy really, I think, getting out of first gear at this point so far.
It's been pretty tactful thus far. Both guys just very respectful of one another's capabilities at this point.
Plus, neither guy can really out-grapple the other, so anytime there has been takedown attempts, they've either been stuffed or either guy has quickly gone up, so it's sort of stuck to this awkward kickboxing affair where I think neither guy is really ready to commit on combinations. Maybe they will be at some point in this fight, but at this point they're not. They're much more content throwing ones and twos, keeping it reserved and methodical, instead of opening themselves up for that counter, which I don't blame them. Both these guys do have a little bit of a history of maybe all of a sudden changing how a fight looks. Takedown there from Henry Cejudo. Gets into a half guard already. Maybe trying to set up a arm triangle. I didn't see the legs in that takedown, but it looked like it's just a trip takedown. Went in for the clinch and then just tripped him up. And then just dumped him. Cejudo, I think, is just comfortable right now being on top, winning the round.
35 seconds to go into the second round.
Or left. Not into, left. Because there was 35, digressing.
I just love that catchphrase.
Demetrius Johnson turning into a single leg, trying to reverse the position. Great grappling here by both guys. 10 seconds left to go. Henry Cejudo kneeing the shoulder of Demetrius Johnson. And the round is over. Again, maybe a Cejudo round.
I would definitely say that was a Cejudo round. A little bit more than I would the first round.
Yeah, that was interesting. We are 2 rounds down in this co-main event for the UFC. And I think Henry Cejudo might be up 2 rounds to 0. That is odd. I don't think we've ever been in this sort of situation where Demetrius Johnson's losing rounds. We haven't had that probably since the first John Dodson fight, which was, wow, what, half a decade ago now, probably?
Imagine if Cejudo gets the upset on this one, ends that title run.
Oh, man, let's not talk about it. Mandem Jr. saying, oh, shit, Kovalev got stopped. Yes, he did. Rewind the live fight chat to hear our immediate reaction. I will split that and post it separately to our YouTube page. So if you want to see just our immediate reaction to the Kovalev and Alvarez huge upset that I predicted, just saying.
I want smoke.
You can see that later. Third round has started. Johnson coming out aggressive. Good knee to the body there. Gets caught with the shot, though, up top. Good leg kick there from Demetrius Johnson. Good combination there from Johnson as he pressures Cejudo. Cejudo is not... I think Demetrius Johnson should start being the aggressor more as well. I think Cejudo is not that adept at fighting off the back foot, no, I would say.
Yeah, it's when he's coming forward and has the initiative that he does his best work right now.
Another takedown by Henry Cejudo. Works for front headlock, but doesn't seem to have it. Both guys are standing on their feet, fighting that front head choke there from Cejudo. Johnson gets out of it, reverses position, pushes Cejudo against the cage. Both guys fighting position, fighting for underhooks. Cejudo has one underhook, and Johnson has the other. Good knee there to the body in the clinch from Johnson. The clinch work from Johnson, I think, is one of his most underrated games. Phenomenal knees. Both guys in the center of the cage now at distance. Again, throwing a lot of feints, a lot of stance switching. Good leg kicks by Demetrius Johnson. Been a staple of his game plan in this fight, it seems. Good combination there from Demetrius Johnson. Lands a step in near the body and lands a left hook in it. Much better round from Demetrius Johnson so far, I would say.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left in the round. Let's see.
Good right hand there from Henry Cejudo.
Let's see if Johnson can seal this round.
Johnson really not getting out of first gear, man.
Nah, yeah.
I don't know what the thought process is. You must know these last couple rounds have been close, to say the least.
Yeah, and the second round more so than anything. This round is still close, and I could easily see Cejudo going for, another moment where he...
In the last 30 seconds, last 45 seconds.
Where he steals
yes.
the round and basically makes it, a very close 2-1 round, if anything.
Because, yes, Johnson's controlling most of this round so far, and some to, I would say, the last round as well. But controlling, let's say, 3 minutes of a 5-minute round or 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get caught with shots, you get taken down. When that last 4 minutes, you really haven't done that much. You've thrown a couple leg kicks, maybe landed 2 punches. You know, that's not enough in those first 4 minutes to say, well, he controlled most of the round beforehand. Well, nothing really happened in the first part of the round to begin with, so it's hard to judge it in that way. Both guys, I think, landed left hooks there on the inside, traded left hooks. The seemingly lack of game plan from Demetrius Johnson's kind of frustrating.
Is considering how good of a fighter he is, it's baffling.
Good combinations there from Henry Cejudo, as Johnson got caught up there against the cage. Takedown attempt from Henry Cejudo, takes the back, drags Demetrius Johnson to the ground. Wow, great reversal there from Demetrius Johnson.
And
Reverse
back
position,
on the feet.
Got back up to the feet. I'm not even going to try to describe what just happened there.
It's to be seen.
Yes. A lot of flipping around. Good scramble. Good scramble.
Ooh, and Henry Cejudo has a cut over, not over, but by his right eye.
It might be over. It's hard to tell at this point. I wonder what the cut came from.
Maybe happened during the scramble, if anything.
Could have. Absolutely. Good kick to the body there from Demetrius Johnson. Ooh, good knee to the body, but Cejudo is able to reverse it to a takedown, but Johnson's able to do the same move he did before,
And
reverse
get back,
position, and
get back on the feet.
It basically just somersaults out of the back control that Cejudo has and is able to create separation from it and distance and get back to his feet.
He's a slick one. He is a slick one. How would you score that round?
I'd probably give that to Demetrius Johnson slightly.
Slightly? I would too, just very slightly.
But again, not much has been done. It's not much has been landed. Not much has been effective, I would say, from either guy here. So a very ho-hum fight in a night of ho-hum fights, I would say. Even like the Kovalev Alvarez fight till the stoppage was kind of.
It was very ho-hum. We pretty much had the story written out.
It was never our second gear, I would say.
Right up until that seventh round.
Exactly. So I kind of have the same perception of this fight. Like, neither guy is getting out first or second gear. Neither guy really wants to expose himself to potential counters, it seems. And I think neither guy has the right game plan heading into this fight also. Or lack thereof, I should say, for a game plan. You know, it doesn't really seem like one was made, you know. To be fair, I mean, this might seem weird, but the guy who seems like he has the best game plan is Henry Cejudo here. And that's weird. Demetrius Johnson seems like he's just in here fighting. And yes, he's a phenomenal fighter, so obviously he's competing, and it seems like he's better at times, but there doesn't seem to be an overarching strategy to what Demetrius Johnson's doing. While Cejudo is just trying to land that shot. And it may be a bad strategy. It may not be a strategy that's working.
But it's a strategy.
But you can see that is a strategy he is trying to do there. It seems like Johnson's just trying to fight on the outside, land that leg kick, and just see what happens. You know, and because he is such an athletic specimen and such a great fighter with such a depth of skill, he makes it look a little effortless. Oh, good right hand there from Demetrius Johnson. That, I don't know if that hurt Cejudo or just turned him a little bit.
Might have just caught him off balance,
Yeah,
but
turned him.
it looked very impressive.
About 4 minutes left to go in the fourth round, championship rounds, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know in the chat who you have winning this fight so far. I'm very curious to see what you guys say. Ooh, good knee of the body there and good elbow on the inside. Cejudo looking just vastly better. You can tell that he is just an overall package now compared to what he was when he first fought.
You can see the progression in him since the first fight.
I mean, he may not be the better grappler of the two or the better athlete in terms of MMA, but he's definitely competing at a level that Johnson's obviously respecting. About 3 minutes left to go in the round. Still, man, just not disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
I mean, considering what we know of Mighty Mouse, you and me both.
And just plus Cejudo. I mean, both guys are fast, explosive flyweights, and
this has been a very tame fight.
Very tame, slow, unexplosive fight. The flashes of explosiveness we've seen from either guy makes us go, ooh, wow. But they've been rare points here and there that makes you yawn over here. It's come on, Johnson, Cejudo.
Wake me up, please.
Yeah, we've been here watching a fight since 2:30 p.m. Literally about to hit 7 hours.
Yeah, it's 9/11. I mean, wow, we've been here quite a while. It's been good. It brings us back to that day. Only difference is that we have not had an intermission.
No, we have not had an intermission. We did have an intermission one time. I forgot about that.
Yes.
How about that? We might have one after this. We might. Good takedown there from Cejudo. Tripped up Demetrius Johnson, but just kept chain wrestling and eventually got Johnson to the ground is in half guard. But Johnson's still, such a great grappling phenom himself. He's able to sort of regain position rather quickly, not allowing the space for Cejudo to land his ground and pound. But probably a Cejudo round because of the takedown. Nothing's happened.
Yeah, so far have it for Cejudo.
Yo, if Demetrius Johnson loses his title and his run to this type of fight, really?
That it's been an upset.
A boring fight?
It's been an upset kind of day, both in performance and in what's happened as a result.
Not really. I mean,
the exciting upset was Kovalev, Alvarez, but yeah, it would suck.
No, you know what? It has been. Natasha Jonas lost today in the next gen card in the UK. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not. Wow, really?
Yeah, she lost by second round knockout, dude. Face planted. That's what I was told by Mitty and Rob.
Damn. And wasn't Nyjah really having you want to talk about her?
Yes.
She's probably heartbroken.
She has to be. She has to be heartbroken. Cejudo landed some good ground and pound there. 50 seconds left in the round. But you may be right. Maybe just one of those nights where fights that we think are supposed to go a certain way just do not at all. And to be fair, the fights that have been sort of upsets have been ones that everyone's clearly picked consensusly as a boxing community or as a fight community on the fight. Kovalev Alvarez. I was maybe the only person you could ever find in the world picking Alvarez to beat Kovalev. Everyone in the boxing world thought Kovalev was going to win that. He didn't. Natasha Jonas. Everyone in the boxing world thought Natasha Jonas was going to win that. She didn't. Second round KO. This fight. Everyone thought Demetrius Johnson was going to win this, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion.
It's becoming a foregone conclusion with 10 seconds left in the fourth round, and just look at that.
But now, Cejudo, to me, is winning this fight.
Yeah, he's winning this fight.
And there's 1 round left.
1 round left. He's controlled that ground for most of this round.
Demetrius Johnson might need a finish here, ladies and gentlemen.
A submission, a knockout. He's not going to win this on points.
And you know what? To his credit, he does have, I think, the most 5th round finishes in UFC history. Which is a weird stat, I know. But I believe he has that stat.
Yeah, he's in line with company like Alexis Arguello, who was known for coming on very strong in the later rounds.
Mm-hmm. So, man, maybe that's what we see here. I don't know. This is odd to say the least. Odd to say the least. A weird showing from Demetrius Johnson. Kind of reminiscent of a Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson fight.
Oh man, I remember that.
The styles just did not mesh well, it seemed, and both guys were too tentative for some reason. I kind of get that vibe from this fight.
I was surprised I stayed conscious for that, to be honest with you, because that was the only thing that was showing that weekend too.
Yo, if we weren't live on here right now, we would be talking about so much other shit right now.
Of course,
we're waiting for the main event. But hey, we're live here, and it's fighting. You're not always gonna get the best fights, people.
5th and final round of this flyweight championship.
4 minutes and 45 seconds. Phil McCracken saying Johnson versus Henry is trash. Yeah, compared to the first fight, it was definitely Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Cejudo, like, what his approach is in this round. Does he feel like he has it in the bag?
He definitely shouldn't approach it with that mindset. He definitely wants to make sure he seals this round, gets the win. And, it's a championship fight. Never take chances on that.
Agreed. Both guys more aggressive in this round, it seems. I think both guys, I'm not saying worried about the power, but that's sort of what it seems like. That they don't want to get hurt. They don't want to get caught. Which, to their credit, both guys have some pretty good knockout power for this division.
Yeah, and their defense has been on par, but so far it's Cejudo who's, in a way, taking a little bit more of a chance with trying to, impose himself. Because Johnson, he's had some good recovery and good reversals, but, I have it for Cejudo thus far.
Yeah, I agree. I gave the first round second and third or something, or second and fourth. I forget what it was, but there's 3 rounds there you give to Cejudo. Easily. Yeah. First, second, and fourth. Third round, I gave it to Johnson. About 3 minutes left in the round. Good little kick there to the body that got deflected by Cejudo. Johnson still no sense of urgency right now, it seems.
Oh.
That he didn't get caught. He ran into a shoulder. That's what it looked like, right?
Yeah, it looked like he just lost his balance coming forward.
Like that and just fell. About halfway point in the round. Final round of the fight. Odd showing for Demetrius Johnson, who might lose his title. Phil McCracken saying at least we got TJ versus Cody next. Though you never know, man. The MMA gods, they are a vicious fucking bunch. Oh, good left hook there from Demetrius Johnson. But still, man, throwing in twos. He's not throwing in combination.
I think the most I've seen him throw thus far is maybe 2 punches and a kick.
Cejudo lands a good 1-2 there.
Cejudo going for the takedown.
Got the back. Trying to trip him up. Demetrius Johnson's about to lose this fight, ladies and gentlemen. That is insane. I can't believe we're seeing that. Cejudo still has the back. Pressed up Johnson against the cage. I think just trying to get that suplex, trying to get the right leverage on it. Transition to a trip takedown, training his shots. Johnson switches positions up, presses Cejudo up against the cage. Now has underhook. You gotta get separation here if you're Demetrius Johnson. To pull off a Ray Borg like submission in the 5th round is just hard. Much easier to try to get a knockout. A minute left in the round, in the fight. You know what? It's the power of Cejudo, man. I think that's been a thing that's really been affecting Johnson in some way.
Yeah.
Because every time Cejudo's landed a punch, Johnson wants to get the fuck out of danger.
Yeah, it's kept them honest. It's kept them honest. It's kept them wary, and Cejudo looks very, very, very calm and composed right there.
Phil McCracken saying this fight could go either way. I kind of agree with you, Phil. This fight is rather close. There's a lot. Oh, good head kick up there.
As Johnson loses his balance, unable to follow up on that.
30 seconds left in the fight. Come on. I think both guys need to start going at it. Because, like Phil says, this fight could go either way. It can.
Someone needs a solid steal right here.
Cejudo trying to go for the takedown, but gets sprawled and defended by Demetrius Johnson.
10 seconds.
Round is practically over. Fight's over. Johnson trying to go for a flurry to end it. Sorry, Cejudo trying to go for a flurry to end it. Both guys. Most action we saw in the entire fight was in the last 10 seconds right there.
Well, what do you think? You think we got a new champion with that final flurry from Cejudo, or do you think that we get maybe even a draw?
Well, no matter what, I gave 3 rounds to Cejudo before that round even started.
Yeah, that's true.
So Cejudo won on my scorecard. He did.
Although you could have made that first round 10-10, so you could easily get a draw. 2-2, 1 even.
Yeah, you're right. You could. That's one I'm really not upset with. But the way my scorecard is, at least live, I technically gave it to Cejudo in terms of my live scoring.
I guess we'll have to see what the judges say after this.
It's weird. It's definitely going to be a weird scorecard. Let me turn up the volume a little bit when we get closer to the scorecard and when it's going to be read. I mean, who do you think won that? Do you think Cejudo won that?
Or do you think, like I do, that this could have easily ended in a draw? Let us know.
Draws are hard. Draws are hard to get, I feel like. Not that they're... I mean, they don't happen in MMA, but it's hard to score a 5-round fight a draw. It just is. It's much easier to score, let's say, a 10-round fight a draw because it's 5 rounds apiece, right? Like, there's... Mathematically, you can do it much easier if there's only 10-9 rounds. But if it's, again, all 10-9 rounds, no 10-8 rounds, 10-10s are rare, and I don't like using them, just to be completely honest. I think Cejudo won that, man.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Johnson retains his title, or Cejudo becomes the new flyweight champion, and we get a trilogy.
Phil saying a close fight will go to Johnson as he is a household name within the UFC. I did not know popularity was a scoring criteria. Did you know that, Santiago?
You'd be surprised how often that could be the case, dude. Come on.
Well, I mean, of course, but it's not a scoring criteria.
Of course it's not a scoring criteria. Doesn't mean that the judges don't look at it that way. We've had some questionable scoring today.
True. That's very true. I mean, the Andre Berto one. Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens. Should play that soundbite.
It doesn't mean it should happen.
Of course.
Doesn't mean it should happen.
Hey.
In the rules and the scoring criteria of MMA, Demetrius Johnson should not win this fight, in my opinion. Just being honest. And if your mindset is, oh, you have to take it from the champion.
Well, I guess you...
Let me just turn up a little bit.
UFC on a network that covers 99% of people
in
the U.S. With that official decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Ron McCarthy scores the contest, 48-47, Cejudo. Marcos Rosales scores it, 48-47, Johnson. And Sal Diablo scores the contest, 48-47 for the winner. And
Henry Cejudo and the new UFC flyweight champion.
And we have a trilogy in the making.
And we have a trilogy now in the making, it seems. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Henry Cejudo winning, defeating Demetrius Johnson by a split decision. I think an obvious score, like an obvious fight to score, in my opinion. It's that first round. I think the judges should have a split on who won it based off of that first round, but Cejudo probably should have won that. I want to hear a little bit of Joe Rogan's
post-fight interview.
Yes.
Oh,
let me turn that up here. Where's the mouse? There
You're
it is.
missing it.
Shock the world.
Perfect timing. Thank you.
Definitely did. I want to say thank you to California.
Thank you to California.
I was born in the ghetto streets of South Central LA in a 2-bedroom apartment, literally 10 minutes away from here, Joe. And I will be here, beat probably the greatest of all time from being knocked out in the first round. And I couldn't do it without my team, my support system. Captain Eric Alvarez, who's been with me since 2004. My agent Ali, Alan, my coach.
Great job there from Henry Cejudo.
My mentor, Dave Zolan, man. Without you, actually, this bout isn't even mine, Joe. This bout is for Dave Zolan, my mentor, who I love very much. This is for you, Dave. Thank you for believing in me.
Henry,
we did it. We did it, Adrian.
I want to take this back to the first round. Something crazy happened to your ankle in the first round. What was that? It seemed like your leg, you can take a look at the big screen and you can see it. Your leg gave out. There was something wrong with your ankle right away. What was that?
It was a little calf crusher that Demetrius hit me with. It hurt. I tried to step on it again. I couldn't find my balance, and
so it was a nerve thing?
I think so. It was muscle.
So
Like a muscle spasm.
from that.
I could see that.
You go
I've had my fair share.
Yeah, that happened. I'm good. I don't want to get flagged. I mean, yes, that and new, ladies and gentlemen, and new. I really don't have much to say about it. Trilogy fight. That was such a bad fight.
Dude, we all got it wrong. We all got it wrong. You realize that?
I was right about Alvarez, but wrong about Demetrius Johnson. In what world is that possible?
The world where you're probably gonna get the next pick wrong.
Don't even say that.
You know you're gonna do it, man.
No. See, there's already one upset. You gotta think about it that way. Like, this already happened.
We've had two.
No, I'm talking about the UFC card.
Oh, yeah, sure. We've had
like the likelihood and the odds that we get both Cejudo winning and Cody Garbrandt.
I'll buy you a round, buddy, if it happens.
No, I don't want a round. I want to just. This isn't right. Because think about it. We were supposed to get, in all seriousness, we're supposed to get TJ Dillashaw versus Demetrius Johnson super fight. Now, that's obviously off the table because Demetrius Johnson lost. But think about it. If that fight was completely off the table because both guys lose, I mean, come on. That's the MMA
Or they
guys.
make the fight because they both lost.
I don't want to see that.
Who comes back with
that's
the win?
It's not a super fight then. It's not a super fight then.
So what? Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw then?
No. It's a trilogy fight, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, it's like the irony of not just the idea that super fight was going to be made and one of them lost. No, both of them lost.
The super fight's dead.
It would be like, obviously like George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva back in the day. That was always talked about a super fight. Imagine if both those guys lost on the same night. Like Chris Weidman knocking out Anderson Silva, but the fight earlier, GSP got knocked out. Like, the likelihood of that happening is just literally unreal. Let's hear a little bit of Demetrius Johnson.
He was staying across, letting me cross distance, and I just kept kicking the legs, and he's a big dude. Each time he got on top of me, he would hold, and, congrats to Henry.
When you were going into the fifth round, did you feel like it was even?
Yeah, I thought it was even. I felt like when he took me down, there was nothing really significant that he was doing. He was just passing my guard.
But Demetrius,
he's a big dude, and I could feel each time we would clash.
You did
hit him, and then he would get, like,
nothing significant.
Nothing really landed clean to rock me.
Nothing.
He's a champ now.
Was there anything surprising about this fight to you?
No. I knew Henry Cejudo was going to be tough. I knew he was going to be an A game. He's just a big dude and strong.
What happens now?
I go back home. My beautiful wife's at home. She's going to we're going to have our third child, and we're covering and see what's next.
Well, congratulations on your third child. Can't wait to see you again, sir. Mighty Mouse.
He's too happy right now in defeat. That bugs me.
He took some money. Let's get those conspiracy theories
No,
here.
stop, Santiago, stop. I won't even allow that. I know you're joking, but no, I'm not even going to allow that here.
You should be happy George is not here. You know he would have been bringing this thing up like wazoo as soon as you said that.
But no, like, that's not even like, he took money? Does that mean Joseph Parker took money in every loss he has because he's just happy with losing? No, some guys just have that character trait.
Nah, kudos to him and his great grace in defeat, you got to love that.
No, it's not about being gracious in defeat and not being gracious in defeat. It's about being upset with you losing, being upset with yourself that you lost. He does not show that. He doesn't. Same with Joseph Parker. They never show that they're upset that they lose. It's not about being respectful or being gracious. It has nothing to do with that because you can be gracious and respectful of your opponent in defeat and still go, man, I should have done better. I could have done better. I'll do better next time. Like, there's no sense of like I lost. You don't see that. He was smiling. The dude lost. The dude lost his entire run, lost his belt, his entire legacy in a sense, and he was smiling afterwards. That's just not a good sign. That's a sign to me that you're not hungry, that you don't want this.
You think he's pretty much done at this point?
It's not necessarily that, but it's that, fighters on the come up trying to get that title, right? This is a common thing. That fire in the up-and-comer is very different than the fire that you need as a champion to sustain that run, right? To stay on top, right? It's very different to get to the top than it is to stay on top.
Yeah,
that's always talked about.
It's a tried old adage, It's harder to keep a belt than it is to win it.
Yes. Obviously, I think part of that is due to people getting not necessarily bored. Maybe that's a wrong word. But champions get over it. Like, they get, I think, I don't know how to describe it, but you see it often with long reigning champs that they sort of just get tired of the game. You know, you see it maybe in old veterans that are wins and losses, but you know it's a different look because they're losing. But the guys that are always on top, and they just
been on top for so long,
and you can just tell that their heart's not in it anymore. You know, that's been that way for Demetrius Johnson for a while, I would say. But he was able to style on everyone so easily, so it didn't show. It showed here that fire is not there, that will to win, that desire to win, to be the champion. That is obviously not there in Demetrius Johnson right now. At no point in that fight did he have a sense of urgency. At no point in that fight did he, I think, realize and have some self-actualization of, hey, I am losing this fucking fight. I'm about to lose my belt. No sense of urgency, it seemed, in the corner as well, even though we had the audio off. The body language, you can tell when they're corner.
You could easily read that.
It was not there. It wasn't. That's just a concerning factor for me. When you don't seem upset that you lost, especially of this loss, where you lost this run, you lost your belt. You've been the only flyweight champion in UFC history. That's been your claim to fame. You beat Anderson's record. All this stuff, all these metrics and numbers on your side. Boom, starting from zero now. Starting from scratch now. You're all the way back down to zero. Have to move way back up. Obviously not directly because you can just get an immediate rematch probably, but still, it's sad to see that because obviously I think Demetrius Johnson is such a skilled competitor and fighter that him not having that heart and the desire, I think, is detrimental to his career and his future. If he doesn't get that back, I think Cejudo wins the rematch easily.
Yeah, easily. You know, it's going to be a matter of him, like, if he lost the fire, regaining the fire, and proving that he still wants a little bit more out of this. Otherwise, you know, what else could you say, you know?
Jay saying I'm crazy to say all that from just the post-fight interview and the fight. It's not just that, though. Like, when has Demetrius Johnson seemed like he is in love with fighting still? Like, that's been gone for a while, Jay. And if you just haven't, you know, noticed it, that's cool. You know, I definitely go back and look at Embedded, look at UFC interviews, look at stuff. He has seemed like he's been disinterested. I think he really wanted that TJ fight. I don't think he wanted this Henry Cejudo fight. He wasn't offered the money by the UFC for that TJ fight. He didn't get it. Like I said, if you don't seem like you have a sense of urgency, if you don't seem like you want to win, then why am I going to pick you to win, Jay? Like, did at any point in that fight, did Demetrius Johnson look like he actually wanted to win that fight? Santiago, can you answer? Do you think there was a point in that fight that Demetrius Johnson looked like he actually wanted to win that fight?
No, it looked like he couldn't get up for that fight. You know,
yes.
Case in point, really. You know, it was like you said, it was a fight he didn't want. Obviously,
fight he didn't want. Fight probably wasn't paid enough for that he wasn't happy about.
And he just didn't care.
He won that super fight, legacy defining fight. I think until he fights a bantamweight champion and beats a bantamweight champion, he was never going to get the credit he deserved, which I think is now, unfortunately, even going to be compounded by this loss.
Yeah, you know, it's just a bad way to go, really.
Jay, making a good counterpoint, saying Demetrius Johnson has never been a big over-the-top talker, enthusiastic guy. I don't know about that. I get what you're saying, Jay. Trust me, I understand exactly where you're coming from. But again, look at, let's say, Demetrius Johnson interviews and promos for the UFC, right? UFC Embedded, UFC Countdown videos. Go watch ones from the Dominic Cruz fight, for example, or the Ian McCall flyweight tournament, all that stuff. It's a different Demetrius Johnson. It is. It is vastly different. You know, look at how he acted after he knocked out Joseph Benavidez on Fox. And he looked like a fucking murder scene that he just shot Joseph Benavidez with the blood trickling down his fucking face. And he one-shotted that guy. You know, he was hyped. He was like, I am the best fighter. He said stuff like that. Jay saying Demetrius said for years if he'd eventually lose, he'd be fine about it. Okay, and I think that's a flaw. I don't think you should be fine with losing. Like, being fine with losing as a fighter is not a good quality to have. You must recognize that, Jay. Like, and it's very different than just say like accepting your losses. That's very different. That's a different idea to mentally and psychologically accept that you have lost. It's very different than saying, hey, you have to be upset that you lost. You want to work to be better. And losing it should be a main driving force to make yourself be better. Dominic Cruz coming off a loss to, not Dominic Cruz. Demetrius Johnson coming off a loss to Dominic Cruz had a sense of urgency, had a sense of just will to, I want to win. I want to prove that I am an elite guy and I'm the best guy at flyweight when they made that division. And he showed it. And now, 12 fights later, he got a fight he didn't want to take, and he wasn't up for it. He didn't have the willpower anymore for it. I don't know how. Nothing that I've seen has shown that to be wrong, I would say. Santiago, do you have any points to add or counter?
No, like I said, being at this for as long as he has, and also, other fights he would have wanted, more fights that he was interested in, and the fact that he had to make do with this fight, among other things, I could easily imagine, like, the fire just wasn't there. He couldn't get up for it, and, it's just basically repeating the same thing, like, obviously it's a character flaw to, like, not feel like you should have done better, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, what else is there to do but get the rematch, hopefully, rebound from this and try to work back towards making that super fight if it's still there,
Jay saying, sort of clarifying what he's saying, I think he meant fine in terms of not having a Ronda post Holly Holm moment. No, I agree that that's probably what he meant. And obviously we don't want that. We don't want that sort of being upset at a loss. Obviously, there is degrees and there's a spectrum to it. But I'll put it this way. Even though I picked against Cody Garbrandt, the fact that he's so upset that he lost is a good indicator. It's a very good indicator to have. It shows that he really wants this, that he trained hard for this. It shows that he probably tried to fix holes in his game because he did not want to lose again. He didn't want to have that feeling again. Hopefully we see interviews when, Johnson Cejudo 3 gets made, or Cejudo Johnson 3, since Cejudo will be the champion. Johnson's saying better stuff where he's not smiling after losing. I don't like seeing a fighter smile after they
maybe
lose.
the realization hits him later,
Yeah, that's true. It could be one of those things, That does happen. When you're in the locker room or something like that, and all of a sudden it hits you, fuck, I'm not the champion anymore. That really just happened.
Like what happened with De La Hoya after he lost to Trinidad, remember?
Mm-hmm. You want to...
Yeah,
tell people what happened.
Yeah, basically, like he looked cool. He looked like he was like he understood he lost and whatnot, but he felt he won the fight. And then like as soon as he was making his way to the locker, you could see how mad and pissed off he was, cursing and everything, talking about like how he threw 1,000 more punches and stuff like that. Like the realization really hit him right then and there at that point. That I can't believe I lost. How could I have lost? True. I did better than him.
Jason, I think you bounced back. Y'all reaching, in my opinion, but y'all know I respect what you guys say. No, obviously, Jay. Obviously, this is just debate. We're debating fighting. Like this is purely the most pointless debate we can have. Let's be honest. In the entire spectrum of the world and issues in the world is sports. We can have sports debates and have fun with it. I'll say this. I just to sort of finish this topic and move on because obviously TJ Dillashaw is walking out. This main event's about to start. I understand why you think we may be reaching, and maybe this is just out of concern of what it seems to be happening with Demetrius Johnson. Because, again, I am a huge fan of Demetrius Johnson. I believe when he's on point, he is, if not the best fighter on the planet, one of the best fighters on the planet. And that didn't seem to be here tonight. He wasn't on point. He didn't seem to care. And those are just red flags to me. And maybe it is an isolated case. Maybe it's an isolated incident where it's not going to happen again. But it did happen tonight. He didn't care. There was no sense of urgency. He was completely accepting of the loss in a way that is maybe upsetting in a way if you're a consumer or a fan of his. And hopefully it is an isolated case because, again, he is one of the greatest fighters on the planet. I cannot wait for a trilogy, even though this fight was not good, was not entertaining. Hopefully a third one's much better. The first one was great, even though it was a much shorter fight. It was entertaining. Hopefully the third one's more entertaining, at least.
Yeah, one can always hope, right?
Yep. Any last thoughts on Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo before we move on?
I think we've said all we had to say regarding that. I mean, now it's just up for the main event. Cody Garbrandt's already in the octagon. TJ's just barely entering. You're sticking with TJ Dillashaw at this point, right?
Yes. Yeah. I still think he's the better overall fighter.
No pre-fight hunches or anything like that right now?
You know what? You know how I said that Cody was going to win it? It's slowly going away. I think TJ's still the better fighter. I think he's gonna ice Cody again. Though I will think it's going to be a slower fight.
Well, of course.
I think
knowing what happened.
I think it's going to look a little bit like, obviously not in terms of in terms of how it looked and style matchup and what they did, but in terms of the tone, it's going to look a little bit like Rose Namajunas, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, except I think somebody's going to get hurt here and finished. I think both guys are a little bit, what's the term? Like they're too susceptible to getting clipped. Both guys are. And because both guys are so incredibly fast, so incredibly explosive, have great combination work, you can easily see somebody swarming and finishing the fight just like the first fight. And I think that happens here again. I think TJ, using his superior kicking game, will be able to at least piece up Cody Garbrandt, land a shot eventually, and swarm him just like the first fight. Herb Dean, one of, if not the greatest refs in MMA history, officiating this fight. Santiago on his phone, texting his girlfriend. Am I right? All right? No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
Ah, damn it. I was close. Shout out to whatever HBO is playing right now. I have no idea what they're playing.
Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. They do it after every boxing program. You know this.
Too bad they don't do the fight game.
They should always do that after. They don't do it as often as they should.
It's like what? Like maybe
it's a monthly thing.
It's not even that, homie.
Maybe
it's like a quarterly show now.
Quarterly show, so 4 times a year.
They have a quarterly boxing event a year. I think they're going to have a monthly boxing analyst show.
I think at one point it was monthly.
At one point it was, when HBO was running a ton of shows and stuff like that. But I can't remember the last fight game that was.
It's been a while. It's been a good minute.
I literally don't know what Jim Lampley does like on a day-to-day basis at the job.
It's a good question. I wonder.
Right?
He probably just covers every other sport at this point, really. Whatever they happen to be showing that like he does or is interested in,
Well, I mean, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any other sports, right? He doesn't do any sort of mainstream sports. He's only on HBO. He literally only covers boxing events, from what I know. Again, I have no idea, but just whatever Jim Lampley does, God bless him.
Basically.
Bruce Buffer reading the fighter announcements as we speak. Final picks in the chat. Kyle saying Cody by decision. You're picking Cody by knockout, I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm picking Cody by knockout.
Not decision, right?
Not decision, knockout.
Do you think a decision is likely in this, or?
Oh, I could easily see a decision, just because.
You know what else I easily see?
What?
There you go. Oh my G, come on.
Oh wait, I do have a G in my name. I just realized that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You have to deal with it. Come on, let's get this fight going. It's the last fight of the evening. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired.
My butt hurts.
God bless you, East Coast motherfuckers.
Yeah, if you're still up, we give you salutes to that, because we'd be passed out by now.
Yes. Yeah, I would never stay for 1 a.m. for fights. I mean, obviously it's my job. I get paid for it. But on the real, it wouldn't be my job. I wouldn't get paid for it if I had to stay up till 1 a.m. every Saturday night to watch fights. That is awful. And I know you people in the UK and stuff always have it worse with 4 a.m. fights. I get it.
Or we have the European cards to deal with their time differences.
That's nothing though. That means it's a 2 p.m. fight for us.
No,
I love 2 p.m. fights, by the way.
2 p.m. fights are fun. They are. They're like, you just hope you're not working at that point, really, because that's when
first round has started. Leg kick there from TJ Dillashaw. Jay echoing what we were saying he's kind of burnt out from the last fight. I kind of agree. Jay saying I wasn't paying so much attention. I felt like I was writing a test. Damn. Hopefully this is better. About 30 seconds into the round. Good body kick there from Cody Garbrandt. Interesting that he's thrown a kick so far. I would say already a more measured pace from both guys. T.J. Dillashaw content with being on the outside. I think trying to find his timing and distance down. See what Cody's gonna sort of, what his game plan is. Sort of get a read on Cody. Neither guy committing to much. A lot of range finding low kicks to the body and to the leg from both guys. Left hook from Cody Garbrandt landed in combination. High kick from him was blocked. Cody Garbrandt ducking under a right-left hand combination from T.J. Dillashaw. If this is purely a boxing match, Cody should win this. He should. He's a better boxer.
He's got some good footwork, too, with that boxing and striking.
Good combination from Cody on the inside. One thing to notice, I know it doesn't get talked about as much because of Cody's right hand and how often it lands and how it knocked down TJ, but the left hook, whether it be a short left hook or a long left hook or a jab, whatever it be, that left hand from Cody Garbrandt lands consistently. And that's one of actually his best shots, so watch out for that left hook. And just start counting how often it lands. Oh, both guys got caught with huge right hands there. TJ doing his usual, switching the stances a lot. Ooh, good step-in knee from Cody Garbrandt. Time TJ on the level change. Spinning back fist from TJ Dillashaw. Misses with Cody, taunting him. Roundhouse kick gets partially deflected by TJ Dillashaw.
At the halfway point of the first round now.
What's your read on the round so far, Santiago?
Honestly, I have Garbrandt just slightly. I feel like he's...
Oh, good right hand there. Knocks down TJ Dillashaw.
Good follow-up.
Good right hand there from... Oh, another good right hand. Oh, no! Cody Garbrandt got knocked down. 3 right hands in a row. The same setup, the same punch. Wow. Cody Garbrandt went down for a single leg. He's trapped on the ground. TJ looking for a Kimura. I think trying to set up for reversal, trying to switch position on him. Landing some good ground and pound on Cody as Cody's trying to stand up, eating shots. Cody is hurt. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the round. Wow. Cody almost caught him with that right hand. He almost did, man. TJ was lucky he blocked that. That was a right hand about to knock TJ down. Another right hand landed from Cody Garbrandt.
Still a bit weary from those 3 right hands.
Another good right hand there from TJ Dillashaw. Man, God. What a fight so far.
What a first round, man. We still got 4 more to go after this.
Oh, right hand. He's hurt. Cody Garbrandt's hurt. He's going down. He's down. Fight's about to be over. Right hand from TJ Dillashaw. Wow, Cody Garbrandt eating shot after shot on the stand-up.
Wow, I'm surprised the
Cody Garbrandt should be called. This fight should be over. Cody Garbrandt's out on his feet, basically.
I'm surprised.
Oh, right knee on the Muay Thai clinch.
Yeah, and it's over.
Fight's over. Wow. Cody Garbrandt saved by the ref. He is out of it right now. He is completely out of it. First round finish for TJ Dillashaw. Wow.
What an assault, man. What an assault.
Those 3 right hands with the same setup, man. The same exact combination. Cody threw the same exact combo, got countered with the same hand, and did it 3 times in a row. That changed the entire perception. Whoa. Not perception. Perplexion? No.
Perception?
Complexion. There we go. I'm mixing up my C's and P's there, man. Changed up the entire complexion of the fight. Kyle saying Cody got way too reckless. Ah, man. It's just wow. Wow, to say the least.
And that happened just as you were asking me what the feel of the round was, too.
Right hand from Cody Garbrandt lands on TJ Dillashaw in the highlights. Left hook from TJ Dillashaw. They're showing the right hands now to knock down Cody Garbrandt. Oh, I wish they showed the first 2 right hands. Because it literally was the same combination over and over again, man. Great finishing instincts from TJ Dillashaw. Cody Garbrandt, though, once he's hurt, man, he's hurt. He definitely does not recover quickly. He definitely struggled, I think. Not necessarily hiding glass. I do not want to go that far yet.
No, and TJ Dillashaw had a great follow-up to that, too. Like, he did not let up for a second.
Vincino Hernandez and TJ versus Cejudo. Huh? Come on, fam. Come on. TJ needs to get their fucking rematch with Dominic Cruz and avenge that loss. That's what needs to happen.
How many losses does he have thus far?
TJ Dillashaw overall?
Yeah.
3 losses overall in his career.
So I'm assuming this is one. That'd be another one.
What do you mean this is one?
A loss is avenged.
He didn't.
Oh, no, sorry.
He won both fights.
He won both fights. I'm sorry.
It was Dominic Cruz. There was fights early in his career, like before his UFC. And then I forget who he lost to. Was it, shit. Was it Ramsey? No, it was John Dodson. John Dodson in the Ultimate Fighter finale. He got knocked out.
Damn.
Yes. Wow. Salute to TJ Dillashaw. But yeah, I would love TJ Dillashaw versus Dominic Cruz next. I think that is the fight to make for that division. But wow. Let's hear this post-fight interview. Cody Garbrandt looks in disbelief.
There can be no doubt. The winner and still champ, TJ Dillashaw. How does that feel?
Happy birthday to Dwayne Ludwig. It's his birthday today. This belt is his. It's going to him.
You guys had some wild exchanges before you clipped him.
Wow.
You've got
that's so crazy to me,
mouse
man.
under your right eye. Were you stunned at any time during that first round?
He caught me good, you know, but nothing to where I wasn't there, you know.
What was different about your strategy coming in? It seemed like he was more kick heavy. Did you
TJ Dillashaw now has the most finishes in the UFC and WEC bantamweight history. Passes Renan Barão, Uriah Faber, Eddie Ryland, and Hani
I
Yahya.
know he likes to lead with that right hand, so I was just going to time it and throw my own, and that's what happened.
This
Wow.
has got to be the sweetest thing for you, because not only does this cement you as the UFC bantamweight champion, you make a very good argument as being the best bantamweight of all time.
I am the best bantamweight of all time. That's it, the best bantamweight of all
I
time.
want smoke.
Right now.
Now, Henry Cejudo won the flyweight title before this fight and said that he wants to come up and fight you at 135 pounds. I think that would be a fantastic fight.
Bring it, baby. Let's do this.
TJ, I want you to enjoy this. Enjoy your...
Wow. That's all we're going to do. Final thoughts, immediate reactions. I deeply apologize we do not have callers today. The equipment should have been in. It's not. Shout out to Amazon. They stay fucking up. But we will have callers as soon as possible. Shout out to everyone on Patreon, patreon.com/MixCommentRadio. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share the show, support the movement. Santiago, final thoughts, immediate reactions. UFC 227, Sergey Kovalev, everything, man. It's here. It's it. Show's over.
Wow. Like, obviously, Sergey Kovalev getting knocked out by Lydia Alvarez. Did not see that coming, and the way it happened, too, when he was controlling. Demetrius Johnson did not get up for the fight. Very surprised that he lost. And the knockout by TJ Dillashaw, just, damn, this is the way you would want to end a night, minus the co-main event for this one.
No, this is definitely the way you want to end the night. That is 100% true. In quick, emphatic fashion, it's late. We're tired. We've been watching fights since 2:30, man. When you start watching fights and it's Gary Russell and not the real Gary Russell, the other fake ones.
Not Mr. Gary Russell.
No, not Mr. No, and not Gary Russell Jr. Gary Antoine Russell, Gary Antoine, whatever the middle names are. When you're watching fights that early in the day, before even the UFC Fight Pass prelims are on, it's a long day. It's been an 8-hour just work day for us here, man, watching fights. Watch them with you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Again, crazy night of fights. We're going to review it all on Monday as well, plus the Joe Cordina Next Gen card, and obviously more of the PBC on Fox card as well. But salute TJ Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo, Eloy Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol, Andre Berto, even though he probably shouldn't have won, Luis Collazo, Marcus Brown. The list goes on and on of winners today. Great fights, bad fights, some weird scoring, and some great scoring. Everything you love and hate about combat sports was tonight. I am Matt, the hipster hunter. Hipsters here, haters beware. You can find us, obviously, Matt Hunter MCR on Twitter, Instagram, Mixed Comment Radio on all platforms. Be back tomorrow. Patreon only show. Patreon.com/Mixed Comment Radio. Championship rounds. And live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. in the UK. As always, hope you all have a great night. Drive safe. No drinking and driving. Santiago, is that it?
That's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. And look forward to seeing this guy tomorrow on Championship Rounds. And I will see you guys at the next live fight chat.
Peace.